Paris Hilton's Bentley ran into a truck. I always thought she looked like she got hit by a truck.
Yeah.
That is not a good-looking woman.
She, in fact, it might have improved her looks a little bit. Is Mike Berardino the same guy as Dave Joseph?
Is he the same guy?
I think they're the same guy.
Why, you didn't like the negative piece he wrote today?
What? He is such a sourpuss. I think the Marlins ought to ban his ass from the locker room.
Well, they don't like him.
They ought to hate him like poison, man. He's a poison pill, Mike Berardino.
No, he just wrote the truth, that's all.
What is it?
He just wrote the truth.
Oh, yeah, sour. He's been, I don't think they had such a bad season. They were right on the...
They didn't have a bad season, but he's not writing about the season they had last year. He's writing about what they have coming up.
With an 83-win embarrassment. What was embarrassing about the season? The fact that they had a lot of injuries in the last month and they faded at the end? That's embarrassing? I'd like to know what other teams in town have won 2 World Championships in the last 8 years. Mike Berardino, you idiot. You silly person.
You more last year.
Berardino, you idiot. And then he writes, not to overload the suicide hotline, but can you really see the hand-to-mouth Marlins paying any pitcher $9 million? And better question, will anyone here care by then?
That's a good
Mike
question.
Mike Berardino, you're an idiot.
I don't agree with you.
Hour on every day.
I think that was a legit question.
Will anybody down here care by then? Seems to me the attendance is way the hell up from what it was there during those dog days.
You haven't been out there, Neil.
And then he throws
They got a lot of empty seats disguised as people.
I see. In other words, the Panthers don't have a lot of empty seats. How about the Dolphins? How many empty seats did they have on Sunday?
A lot.
Oh, my God. How about like 25,000? Let's try for starters?
Yep.
Maybe more?
They don't have a lot of relevance right now.
And then he writes in the middle of his article, even Jacques Demers could read these depressing signs, which is a real shot at Jacques Demers. And in addition to which, there are 10 people in South Florida who knows who Jacques Demers is, number one. And number two, of those 10, there isn't one of them that knows that he was illiterate and couldn't read and write. But he's got to show us that he knows. Mike Berardino, next time he comes down, you do him on the phone or in the studio?
He won't be here until next season.
Oh, good. Well, but next season, have a piece in your briefcase.
Why don't I invite him out to the track and I can throw him and Jicko off the roof together?
Excellent job. And, no, wait a minute. And Dave Joseph, that'd be the best trifecta of the year.
I like Dave.
I don't care how much you like him. See, you're getting personal confused. I like Tom Jicka, personal, but business, he's an idiot. Personal, fine. He's a good guy to go to lunch with, especially if the Sun Sentinel's picking up the tab.
I think there was a lot of stuff, and I agree with you about a couple of those points.
He's too negative, man.
But in general, I thought that Berardino's piece was right on the money because there's a big issue right now regarding Delgado and whether or not he's coming back.
Well, send him back here. The Blue Jays could use him. In fact, the Raptors could use him.
Everybody could use him.
Yeah, the Raptors could use him. They haven't won a game. Huh?
Although they don't skate too well, those guys who come up from wherever he's from.
I'm going to tell you one thing, though. No, I didn't say the Leafs. I said the Raptors. The new NHL, I don't want to talk hockey on my show. Damn it, it's already a minute after 10. But it's good. It's really good. I watched last night in HD, no less. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, I keep forgetting to ask you, how do you like your Samsung?
I love it.
Isn't that great?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. No extra charge for the consultation. But anyway, it was on in HD last night, the Canadians and Penguins from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That was a great game. I watched the third period, the overtime and the shootout, which I never thought I'd like the shootout. I thought it was real crap. It was great. It was sensational. And the goalie stopped the first two shooters on the one side, 3 on the other. And then that kid, Sidney Crosby, the phenom, he scored the goal to win the game for Penguins. Great game. The new NHL is new and improved, and it's great.
I watched Crosby the other night against the Rangers for a little while. He's good.
Kid is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I watched the Heat game last night.
I beg your pardon?
I watched the Heat game last night.
Well, that's unfortunate. I heard somebody yesterday. I was sitting here putting a couple of stories on the first 2 minutes, and right out of the box, he was clicking back between the Panthers and the Heat game. Your good buddy. How do you like that?
Oh.
The guy that said the hockey sucks. Why would he be watching the Panther game if hockey sucks that he knows nothing about?
Got me.
And there's no school today, I'm informed, because it's Veterans Day. Now, didn't we just finish with a hurricane?
Gosh, why would they let them have the holiday off? They got to make up days.
Right. Wouldn't you think that this would be I mean, this isn't like a religious day. With all due respect to the veterans, I mean, they're getting screwed anyway. But with all due respect, but wouldn't this be a perfect day to say, well, we're going to eliminate the Veterans Day holiday, and the kids can go to school and make up one of those days they all missed.
Speaking of school boards, did you see the story about Pat Robertson? And
yes, of course.
What a
did I see
horrible
the story? It's on our prestigious website.
What a horrible man.
No, you know what's horrible about him is the fact that media keeps portraying him like he's a sane person, as opposed to saying, crazy lunatic Pat Robertson's at it again.
Yeah.
They have to report dutifully what he said.
Well, if Berardino was writing that story, he would refer to him that way.
He referred to him as what?
Crazy lunatic.
Yeah, well, Berardino's he's just too negative, too sour. Him and Dave Joseph must be hanging out together.
You know, I love it when you call other people negative.
Yeah. I'm not negative. I'm Mr. Positive, man. Who helped to put the slots over? Just ask the people at Gulfstream and Pompano Park and your buddy Dan Atkins at Hollywood Greyhound who helped to put the slots over in Broward. I'll tell you.
Oh, God.
If it's something good, I'm positive. And what did I just get through telling you about the Marlins? I'm not a big Marlins fan. I'm not going to pretend to you. I'm not going to put on a phony song and a dance. But at least they won 2 championships in the last decade.
Yep.
That's more than all the other teams in the town put together.
It's more than the Cubs have won.
That's 2 more than all the other teams. In fact, this Dolphin. You know what the Dolphins remind me of? The Maple Leafs. It's the same thing. Living in the past. Up here, it's the Leafs. They're great in the '60s. Won 4 Stanley Cups, and Johnny Bauer and Frank Mahovlich and Davey Keon. Well, that's 100 years ago. Those people are half dead already. It's the same thing with the Dolphins with a perfect season, and now they're worried about the Colts. So they're already 8-0, and are they going to break that record? And all this other crap. How long can you keep living in the past?
So I want to send Pat Robertson a copy of Inherit the Win.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, all about.
Send Pat Robertson a loaded gun and tell him to take it down to Venezuela, and he can do the job on Hugo Chavez himself, and see who comes out standing.
Yeah,
okay?
Good idea.
Yeah. See who comes back standing up. And by the way, we lost a good man at QAM today.
Who?
Adam Tharan is leaving us.
He is?
Didn't know that? See?
No.
You get the good news on this show, the bad news. Now, we get the bad news on your show from Mike Berardino and the bad news on this show from Adam Tharan. He's leaving.
He's a good guy.
He's one of the only sane salespeople we've ever had in that building. He's a good guy. All the good people, they leave, like John Wienis and Brian Schmutz, all the good guys who actually can go sell something. And Adam kept getting screwed over.
I talked to Brian not too long ago.
How's he doing?
He's in Connecticut. He's sales manager for a station up there.
See, there you go, sales manager. And why? Because he's a real sales guy.
Yep.
He and John Wienis sold most of the accounts that I still, at least from this station anyway.
I know why he left here.
Yeah.
It was that woman drove him out.
You don't mean the one that you were always bitching out in the parking lot and getting P-Val for, do you? You don't mean
that one.
Well, before you leave today, it'll put a smile on your face. Go into my studio there, and you'll see that huge picture of the sales department they gave me that one year.
Yes.
For my birthday.
Yeah.
And we've been Xing out all the faces as they leave. so I had Adam X out his head on that photo in there. And your girlfriend, Screwan, is also, she's X'd out.
I'll miss Adam. Adam's the good guy.
Yeah, Adam's a good guy. But like I said, every time somebody would come in, a new person, they'd take other people's accounts and they'd divvy it up. They just kept screwing him over. That new sales manager guy, you ought to smack him in the head for me, too, while you're at it. After you're done with Jicka and those other guys, smack the sales manager around.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll go over there right now.
Call up Earl Martinez and have him smack the crap out of that new sales manager. Maybe just knock the taste out of his mouth will be good.
Yeah, Raul and I are tight now.
Are you?
Ever since I got on the elevator at Del Mar, and there's he standing, him.
Yeah, you told me that.
With Brunetti
Now, did he speak to you?
No. John did.
Boy, that must be kind of uncomfortable, isn't it?
Well, it was a crowded elevator.
That must have been one of the longest elevator rides in history.
Yeah, the elevator was, fortunately, it was so crowded that he couldn't raise his arms to hit me.
That would be a good, something, that's a good poll question. What would be the worst combo on an elevator in history, at least from our standpoint? I can just see you and him and Raul Martinez.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe how about me and Mike Mayo, and I like Mike.
No, you and Mayo would be all right.
Mike Berardino and Dave Joseph and Tom Jicka and me. And, of course, any of us with him on the elevator. By the way, Mo, Adam says he won't miss you. He'll miss the rest of us, but he won't miss you, is what Adam said. Adam hates you, too, That's something? Because Adam's kind of an easygoing guy. He likes just about everybody.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, well, good. I'm sure he is, too.
Yeah, well, if you're listening, have a nice weekend.
Henrietta and Ginger show. I'm sure he's listening right now, taking notes.
Yep.
We just all hate you, don't? I mean, you can take it personal if you want. It reminds me of, what's his name? Greg Budell, same thing. Always bent out of shape. You go, does everybody hate me? And, of course, Budell was like one of those people that got all the positive press from Jicka and other people in the media who are obsessed with him. He never had any ratings. He never had any talent. But in his own mind, he convinced himself because the TV writers or radio writers used to like him, therefore he must have been great. Remember Greg Budell, or didn't you ever know him?
Yeah, I knew him.
Another loser.
Whatever happened to him?
I have no idea. Last I heard of him, he was like waiting tables at the Sterling Country Kitchen restaurant where my mother used to go.
Where's that?
It's on Sterling Road. It's by Carriage Hills over there in Sterling Road. You're not old enough to be in that neighborhood yet.
Not yet.
We're working on it, but we're not anywhere near old enough. The median age in that condo complex was death plus 10.
What's up for the weekend?
Tomorrow morning, it's probably, I would think, Woodbine's on my agenda.
I've got Calder on my list tomorrow.
I've been doing very well there lately. I don't know what it is.
I have a big ticket to cash at Calder.
Do you?
Yeah, from last week.
Yeah.
And, I mean, a big ticket. And so...
Well, give us a clue. How big is it?
4 figures.
Oh, that's good. Well, 4 figures is no big deal. I won that the other day at Woodbine. 4 figures.
Well, with multiples.
Oh, okay.
So, and I've got, they have 2 pick 4s there tomorrow because they actually have 8 stakes races at Calder. It's a good day tomorrow.
Excellent.
So I'll be there. I'm sure Eddie K will be there. And I'm sure Tom Jickle will be there.
When you see Eddie K, find out how old he is.
Oh, yeah, I will.
This is the assignment for you so that Monday we can give the real age as opposed to all his guesswork. It would be kind of embarrassing if he says like 52. That would really be bad.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
He'll throw me off the roof.
Yeah, and that might be it. Him and Raul Martinez. If you see the two of them coming at you together, I'd hop on the elevator and shut the door real quick.
Like they can do an Urbina, come after me with machete and set me on fire.
Yeah.
But
no, I think
I'm on a
Marlins,
mission, Neil. I'm going to find out Eddie's age this weekend.
I think the Marlins are going to bring Urbina back to go after Veradino.
You know what? If I have an idea.
Yeah.
I may go out. Sometimes Eddie and I hit a couple of clubs at night, and I'll give him some of that mumble juice and get his age out of him.
It's not going to be that. He'll give you an honest answer.
Yeah.
Why not? What has he got to?
He doesn't care.
Why should he care? An old Jew like him, why the hell should he care?
Right.
And then one thing about Eddie, I was just thinking about this yesterday, that I haven't seen him in a long time, but he never changes.
No, he looks exactly the same.
He looks exactly the same now as when I first met him. He came up to me outside a Panther game at the old Miami Arena years ago and introduced himself. I'm a big fan of yours. I met Kaplan. I work at wherever he was at that time. And he looks the same now.
Yep.
And that was a long time ago. He just doesn't change.
No, not at all.
Must be that clean living and...
It's not that, I can tell you.
Whatever it is. Well, listen, have a great weekend and plunge your guts out tomorrow. It's good for the soul, man.
Yeah, let's win this weekend.
No, I'm going to work on it.
Okay.
See ya.
Friday, you bastards.
It's late at night. You're fast asleep, and a shadowy figure is about to break into your home. But you're protected. Yes, it's the James Brown Home Security Alarm. The hardest working alarm in the safety business. Designed by the godfather of home protection himself. The James Brown alarm protects you from burglars, vandals, peeping Tom. And if you act now, we'll include at no extra cost the patented James Brown Hot Pants Fire Alarm. So put the Soul Patrol on your keyhole with a James Brown Home Security System. You'll say, I feel good.
Now, how about that? Doesn't Eddie K use that as his theme a lot?
Yeah, that's just.
And it just dawned on me there toward the ass end of that, James Brown. I feel good. That horrible song. Anyway, it's 12 minutes after 10 at 560 WQAM. Happy Friday, too. We got almost 400 votes on that poll, boys. I'm thinking I'm leaving this poll up there. I'm not going to change it. I got the other one on there, but I can use that for, next week. I'm impressed by this, aren't you?
Okay. Oh, you are impressed by that.
Well, since we got Miguel there today, now even Troy Stratford is about as macho as they come, man. Nobody's ever going to call him like that. And he came in this morning and recommended enthusiastically Dial Mountain Fresh Body Wash. He said it's lavender. And I thought, oh, my goodness, lavender. No, seriously, he said it's the best. He said it just leaves you feeling so refreshed and whatever. I don't know. He was hyperventilating about it.
Yeah, he was obsessed.
At any rate, we got a very depressing result on that poll about the body wash and the soap and stuff like that. You guys are still living in the Stone Age, okay? The guys are still wearing two-piece bathing suits. Let's get with it. Take off those knickers, okay, and get you some body wash and stop the crap. Jesus, God Almighty, like a bunch of little children have to be led by the hand. Oh, guess what? Your life is passé. People don't do it. People don't buy black and white TVs anymore. God, that's depressing. It's also depressing that the kids are off for Veterans Day today. It just seems to me outrageous. This is not one of those days. It's not disrespectful to the veterans. We appreciate their service, and we feel for especially the people who died in wars that were based on lies, like Vietnam and Iraq. But the kids ought to be in school today, learning something.
There was no traffic, though, so it was fine.
Well, like I said, it's a good idea to get those pain-in-the-ass kids out of the school, get those buses off the road. 10:14. Oh, look at that. Firefighters are battling a four-alarm blaze in Oakland, California. Any interest?
No.
But CNN's like, just in.
All that smoke.
Oh, a lot of they're blowing smoke.
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
cutthroat skies. Smells from the body roll mold. Barbara Bush has 40,000 eyes, pulls of her eyes popped out. It happened when she realized she raised for criminal clout. Barbara Bush has 40,000 eyes. And she's nasty, old and crafty, and she raised for fights exactly. She's atrocious and takes some bricks to anyone who says they want no boys. Walks like she's carrying a bowling ball between her thighs and has 40,000 eyes. She doesn't seem to score, as if she's always surprised. Teeth wiggle when she talks. Barbara Bush has 40,000 eyes. She gave us George Bush and Jeb Bush, not to mention Neil and Robin Bush. He'll be rich and fat and smells just like the magic sauce on a Big Mac. Barbara Bush resembles Ernest Borgnine on a bad day with 40,000 eyes.
20 past 10. You notice I'm playing all oldies today in honor of George being off today, and we got Miguel and Josh Cordes there.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily in that order. Dial Mountain Fresh. Miguel's going to go out that and get him a squeegee over the weekend and with lavender body wash.
I wrote it
We
down.
just won't tell anybody about it. In fact, Miguel is such a wuss. He admitted to me before the show today that he goes and he's one of these people that puts down toilet paper on a seat in a public tea room.
Do that poll, see what happens.
What?
Put that on the poll.
Oh, well, we'll do that next week. One day we'll do that.
Okay, you'll see.
I don't think very many people put. It's one thing if you went into a public tea room and you had to do a deuce, and you see that the seat, you put the seat down, you see somebody showered it. So you wipe it off. That's all.
And that cleans it completely.
Cleans it completely from what?
Germs.
From what? Germs, my ass. Okay. Boy, you are pathetic. You are such a wuss, man. You are the definitive Cuban wuss, and you don't even have an excuse. This guy was born in Chicago.
Yep.
And still, it's been ingrained in him from the time he was a child. He's still got that uptight Mr. Macho. But you're just a wuss. That's the sad part. Adam Tharan is leaving. There's a good guy for you. We'll miss him a lot. He's a really good guy, up until recently. But now I realize why he's been screwing off lately. He's been planning to get out. I don't blame him. I knew it was just a matter of time. They've screwed him over really bad in that QM sales department. Boy, they they play their favorites. And, of course, when Screw Ann was there, she had to bring in her girlfriend, Berkeley, who couldn't sell a glass of water for a nickel to a starving Arab in the middle of the desert and had all the oil money. Just one of those things. Hey, Berkeley, don't take it personal, but it is, and it's personal and professional. You're pathetic. And then, of course, we also got Todd Reck. He's got this coming on. He's got that. I don't know how Joel Feinberg over there, even with no numbers, isn't making it big, Because we got that. We have the big numbers, but we got a sales department that can't sell it, even on a sunny day. Forgetting about the hurricane, even under the best of times and circumstances, it's tragic. And, of course, we got Fat Boy and his boyfriend out there, his psychotic boyfriend, so that speaks for itself. Wait till we get to the poll today, though. That's good stuff. Here's yesterday's poll. 1,465 votes. What Bush family behavior is the sleaziest? George W. starts an unprovoked war in Iraq, got 584 votes. George W. steals a 2000 election, 243. Jeb Bush hands his big brother that election in 2000, 110. George W. sits on his ass reading My Pet Goat while the USA is attacked, 102. George W. hands Halliburton no bid contracts in Iraq and in the Gulf states, 95. George W. slanders war hero John Kerry in the 2004 campaign. It should probably say draft dodging George W., 70. Prescott Bush finances the Nazis in the 90s, 68. Columba Bush smuggles shoes into the U.S. to avoid paying tax, 58. John Ellis Bush has sex with a minor in a parking lot, 41. In Tallahassee, no less. Noel Bush gets arrested for a fake Xanax prescription at the Tallahassee Walgreens. Has got 19 votes. Should have done better than that. Well, we left that part of it out. Laura Bush kills boyfriend in a car crash, 17. It was an accident. Neil Bush, SNL scandal, 15. Papa Bush, read my lips, no new taxes, 14. I like the way we spelled Papa there. It says Popa. Popa with the old soap on Europa.
Right.
You think this new Nazi Pope uses soap on Europa? He probably uses soap that was made from Jews. George W. appoints his incompetent National Security Advisor Condoleezza to be Secretary of State 10. Jenna Bush arrested for drinking with a fake ID while underage in Austin, Texas, May 2001. 8. Jenna sticks her tongue out literally at the media during her father's 2004 re-election campaign. 5. John Ellis Bush gets charged with public intoxication and resisting arrest in Texas, September of this year. 4. And George W. nominates Harriet Miers for the Supreme Court. Phony crony. Only 2 votes for that. And George Herbert Walker Bush invades Panama got the big. Out of 1,465 votes, it got the big. Nobody cares about Panama, okay? Right? Who gives a flying crap about Panama?
Right.
And Noriega and the Panama Canal, all those things. We care about Nicaragua. That's what we care about. And we care about Nicaragua and La República Dominicana. And now I see that the military is interested in Paraguay. Wait till we invade South America. At least it's closer anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I forgot to mention with Hank, I was too busy ripping Mike Berardino, and rightfully so. You're just a sourpuss, Mike. You're so negative. I think the Marlins ought to toss your ass from the press box.
They might want to.
On opening day. You know, this business about there's a lot of empty seats. Yeah, well, there's a lot of empty seats at any sporting event pretty much. Although in Pittsburgh last night, it was good to see that place was jam-packed for that Canadians game. That was good. They're getting it back after a bad start. But, you know, they're making progress. They're making strides. And I think this organization, unlike their predecessors, which were just ready to, like, dismantle the team, at least these people made the effort out there to bring another world championship a couple of years ago. Am I right, or did I just dream that?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, so what's not to like? They got 2 world championships in the last 8 years, and the Dolphins haven't won squat in like 30-some years, and the Panthers haven't won a playoff game since before Jesus was a baby.
Since the Rats.
And the Heat, well, they got problems. You know, he's got a hangnail, and we got to have Ira. Let's have Ira on to dissect Shaq's injuries. Now, you're too negative, Mike. You and Dave Joseph, man. Sour, always negative. And see, you notice how Hank tried to turn that on me, that old bit about, well, Neil is so negative. That's not true. I just tell it like it is. If the organization stinks and it has to do with sports, I'll tell you, like the Dolphin organization, it's a joke. It's pathetic. They suck. Just wait till Sunday, man. That's going to be ugly. That's my prediction. It's going to be really, really ugly. Of course, I leave it wide open like that because either way it comes out, it could still be ugly, right?
Right.
Now, Barry Jackass, speaking of ugly, they don't come much uglier than Barry. He makes me look beautiful. Hey, Barry, how's Mommy doing, huh? How those brown bag lunches coming, sweetheart? He goes on. Jim Sarney today, even though it's Friday, he writes 3 pages on the Internet of nothing. Absolutely. Just kissing up to, what's the guy who's doing the play-by-play of the game this weekend? Jim Nantz. Yeah. Everybody in South Florida hates Jim Nantz because he hates everybody knows he hates the Dolphins and he hates the Hurricanes. So basically everybody has hated him forever. But because he'll do an interview with Jim Sarney, so Sarney writes about 40,000 words about Jim Nantz and how wonderful he is. He's going to be doing the Super Bowl. Nobody cares about Jim Nantz, Sarney, you old toad. And then he writes 2 other pages of crap that nobody cares. And also sucking up to his buddy Evan Cohen there on ESPN Radio in Palm Beach 760 that nobody ever heard of before. Nobody listens to it. Nobody knows who that is. But that's Jim Sarney. Now, Little Barry writes about Eric Reed. He writes all this stuff about Eric Reed's credibility, vitally important to him. Eric Reed's very good if he would stop talking through his teeth. You know, 77, I don't like that. It says Reed, he does it.
I know.
Reed clearly wants his team to win as much as any play-by-play announcer in the market, but he's always been objective about mistakes by Heat players and generally doesn't rail on officials like WIOD's Mike Inglis. Oh, speaking of Inglis, whose whining about calls has become unbearable. It's like 5 against 8 right now, Inglis screamed during game last week. Mike Inglis, I never heard of him. Is he good?
I don't know.
Does he speak in English? And then he goes on, Little Barry, the only other thing we might even be remotely interested in, personnel rumblings. All right, Miami, it says here. How do you like that? All right, Miami. Nice going, Barry, you idiot. Another Mandich is getting a microphone. Michael Mandich, Jim's son and former walk-on tight end at Michigan. A lot of tight ends in that family. Will become the sideline reporter on the FIU football broadcast on 1360 WKAT beginning November 19th. Jim Manich's MZM Production owns the rights to FIU's radio network, but I'm sure that's just a coincidence. Am I right?
All right.
And here's the important part. ESPN announcer and 790 The Ticket talk show host John Boog Shambi has emerged as candidate for a radio job with the Mets. Shambi turned down the Marlins TV job last winter, as we know, and did the right thing like I tried to tell you for a long time. Turned down the Marlins job to go to ESPN, get that national exposure, and he's done such a great job that now the Mets want him as their radio guy, and if he's smart, he'll take that. What do you think? Number 1 market in the country, baby, the Mets.
That's right.
You don't think that would be a good deal?
I do.
Well, it depends on the money, I guess.
No, yeah, that, you know. Well, he's from New York, so.
And plus, it's his team. He doesn't have to phony up like in a team he's broadcasting for, you know? Wouldn't be like a Jets fan doing a Dolphin games or stuff like that, because he really likes the Mets.
Friday, you bastard.
If you can't stand Hugo Chavez, take him out. If you can't stand Hugo Chavez, take him out. If you rule Venezuela, I'm afraid we'll have to kill you. And with lead, we're going to fill you. Take him out. George Bush hates you, so do I. Hugo Chavez, you must die. You are an infected ball, and besides, we need your oil. Die, Hugo Chavez. Die, Hugo Chavez.
Absolutely.
Die, Hugo Chavez. You dirty, commie rat.
Boy, this poll today, we got 476 votes. It's only 10:30. How do you like that? I'm going to leave this on. Don't you think it's a good idea to leave this over the weekend so everybody can vote?
Yes.
And then we'll do the toilet paper on the toilet seat next week to see how many other nervous Nellies. Oh, the germs. I'm going to catch something off the toilet seat. Maybe you could get some masculinity back on your body that you washed off with your body wash, Miguel. Maybe you could get some off the toilet seat.
Yeah, that'll make you mad.
Maybe some truck driver, some real macho guy sat there before your ass. Anyway, here's the poll today, and Pat Robertson said it again, and like I said to Hank, the only problem with Pat Robertson is that the media, they tell his exploits and his ramblings like we're talking about a rational, credible person, as opposed to saying, stark raving lunatic Pat Robertson said this today, and we'll get to him eventually. Which applies to you, we're asking today, all you macho guys out there. And this is very disheartening to me. We got so much work to do. 476 votes. Are you a male? I shower with soap, 259. 54.4% are using soap. I'm probably dropping it a lot, too. Male, I shower with body wash with a squeegee, 85. With a squeegee, Miguel, 85. Male, I shower with body wash, no squeegee, 57. But at least we got 142 doing the body wash, which is almost, that's more than half as many as the soap. Soap is passé, okay? Drop the soap. Toss it. Flush it down the toilet, okay? It's got germs on it. It sits around gathering all kinds of like gangrene and botulism. God only knows what kind. Plus, of course, if you got like a light-colored soap and you got like a big black hair on it, phooey.
So you won't use soap because it has germs on it, but you'll sit in a public toilet seat. Okay, that makes sense.
I was just joking about the germs, okay, Mr. Hotshot. I use the body wash because it's the new, intelligent way to, just like I told you before, you won't walk into, you go into a public tea room, which is a place you evidently hang out a lot, and when you go to the sink to wash your hands, they don't have soap sitting around. Now, would you use soap? If there was like a public soap sitting in there that God only knows who the hell was, how, and where they stuck it? No, you would not. And so any public tea room, they got like the little pump thing on all the sinks, and you pump a little liquid soap onto your hands, and then you wash your hands. Just like at home, how many people have a bar of old ugly soap sitting around in the sink in the kitchen or in the bathroom? No, they got like probably a little bottle of soft soap or some other crap, right?
Right.
Even Josh Cordes there's probably got some soft soap sitting there.
I do.
See, there you go.
We all do.
Well, so in other words, if it makes sense to wash your hands, which are obviously, I mean, you're wearing clothing over the rest of your body during the day, so what's the odds that your body is going to get dirty unless you're rolling around in the mud with a bunch of jocks or something? Huh? Unlikely. But your hands, in fact, when we had the SARS thing going on here, when you wanted to have me quarantined last summer, when we had the SARS thing in Toronto, laugh now. Oh, if Neil's coming back to town, do you think we ought to let him in the station? They had SARS up there. Shouldn't we have him quarantined? Yeah, quarantine your ass, okay, you idiot. You silly ass spick. Yeah, you.
I wasn't part of that.
Yeah, you weren't.
I wasn't.
Yeah, that is a lie. Oh, you see, you're pulling this because George isn't there today. George is onto you. He told me that you were the leader and shaker on that.
No.
Okay, well, tell me who was then.
I'm not telling you who was.
Why not?
Oh, who cares? It was George Corso.
George Corso, you idiot.
You fairy.
George Corso, our crack engineer, man. I think he's been out there sticking that fish hook in too many strange places.
Rectum.
Yeah. Ought to be quarantined. Quarantine this, you imbecile, man, you silly goose. It's a damn good thing that the real engineer came up here, Julio, came up and helped build this studio with a guy from the fan up here.
He stopped by not too long ago.
There's a real engineer for you and a good guy, Julio, man. He's a great guy. He's the one that put this whole thing together, the best little studio going in the USA, and in the world, no less. Anyway, what was I saying before you interrupted me with your bullcrap about whatever that was, about Julio?
You were talking about the soap, the bar soap with the hands.
Right. This is the way people take a shower now. This is the intelligent way. They use body wash. They don't use soap no more. Intelligent people. Unfortunately, our audience has got a lot to learn. Now, if I can finish the poll result, we got almost 500 votes just past 10:30. Today's our 1,000, I guarantee you that. This doesn't require an opinion. This is just which of these are you? I don't even bathe, 42. I put that on there because I've smelled a lot of you. Believe me, 42. Yeah. Oh, God. Female, I shower with body wash, 20. And I didn't put with or without the squeegee because women aren't worried about, their macho image, unless maybe some dykes.
Well, they use the loofah.
20. And female, I shower with soap, 16. So even on the women, it's like 50-50, only a few, although, see, they're moving in the other direction. More women now with a body wash as opposed to the soap. And the saddest part of this whole thing is that only 36 women voted on the poll so far. We're just under 500 votes, and we got 36 women. That's really sad. And by the way, don't you lie through your teeth. You also were involved in that thing about quarantining with the SARS. Oh, what I was starting to say...
What say do I have in that anyway?
I beg your pardon?
Who am I to have a say in that anyway?
You were in the meeting, and you were one of the people who said, let's quarantine him because he's going to get us all. Yeah, the hell you weren't. You're the ringleader. Josh, on Monday when George comes back, make sure we talk about that for an hour.
Okay. I'll remind you myself.
The point I was starting to try to make to you is when we had the SARS thing, one of the things that they keep teaching you, and I got in the habit of doing it even now, is when you come in, when you've been outside at the supermarket or wherever you go, and you come inside, you wash your hands. You go to the sink in the kitchen, you water the bathroom, wherever, and you wash your hands with that liquid soap, and you scrub your hands clean with warm water.
Right. Because
your hands are what makes you sick. Your hands are what picks up the germs on the doorknob, in the tea room, wherever you're running around handling stuff, whatever you're doing.
Correct.
There you go. So that's why I'm not even going to go into it.
Too late.
Because you're hopeless. You're a hopeless case. You're a professional spick, and you always will be. And the rest of us, Josh is coming along. Troy Stratford came in. Not only is Troy using the body wash, but enthusiastic, and he is not using the squeegee.
You missed the part where I am also using the body wash.
Yeah. Well, how long has that been?
A long time.
Before we embarrassed you into that.
No, you never embarrassed me into that. When have you embarrassed me into anything?
Dial Mountain Fresh is what Troy Stratford recommends, old number 23. He says it's lavender. It's a little on the...
Tell the wife to go buy it then.
Lavender. You're going to use a lavender body wash?
I don't care.
Bad for your image, man. This is the same guy who last week said that he washed all the masculinity off his body when he used the loofah. Now, was that your wife's loofah, or is that just one you found hanging around somewhere on the floor in the tea room?
It was hers.
Yeah. Well, no comment. 21 to 11 at 560 WQM. Let's take a look at that award-winning QAM lineup today. Mo Howard David at 2. Jim Mad Dog managed 3 solid hours today at Hooters and Doral. Another tough assignment for the Mad Dog. Panther preview at 7, the Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes. Is that a home game or a road game tonight?
Hooters Pines, by the way.
Well, it says Doral on my schedule. We can't even rip Clarence because he's... Oh, and then I found out our program director is in Seattle or somewhere to do a Hurricane basketball game. Make up your mind, Clarence. Do you want to be a real program director, which you're not, or do you want to be a Hurricane flunky sportscaster type? That's very sad. Guy that's supposed to be the PD, and he's off for he's going to be gone on Monday and Tuesday. Muff was telling me. Although Muff likes it when Clarence isn't there because then Muff can play PD again. Mad Dog at Hooters in the Pines, 4 to 7. Now what I just said. Panther preview at 7. Now is that a home or away game tonight?
Home.
Is it really?
Yes.
Now that's a game you people ought to really go to because Carolina is good. That kid Eric Stahl, this kid is dynamite, and Cole. They got some good players on that team.
Maybe I'll have to go back.
There's no point in you going because you don't watch the game anyway. You didn't see the fact they blew that game. I didn't even know that till yesterday. They blew the game with 3 seconds left. That's their specialty now, blowing games right at the ass end of the game with just seconds left and then lost on the shootout, to the Rangers. But anyway, Panthers in Carolina, 7:30 tonight should be pretty exciting. And Eddie K at 10. We got Pat Robertson, Dover, Pennsylvania, man. Those people are going to burn in hell. And then we got the update on the man with the toilet tail, which come to find out he took a lie detector test, and they said he's spot on, man. They said he's got a spot on him.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
You can't flush this. You can't flush this. You can't flush this. You can't flush this. My lunch hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me with the runs and gas that you wouldn't believe feels good. When you're sitting down, doing your business, getting down and brown, but I didn't know as such, there's a water shortage, so you can't flush. I told you, homeboy, you can't flush this. Shouldn't have had that chili dog, babe. You can't flush this. Look at my eyes, man, they're red and watery. You can't flush this. Yo, let me flush a funky lyric for you right now. You can't flush this. Your 3-year-old, get you out of your seat. He's learned about the potty and he thinks it's neat. He's pulling the handle, laughs like a clown as your keys and Rolex watch go down, they're swirling. And such, what can you do? Not very much. What makes you mad is that night he goes in his pants, he smells like a fright. Let him know as such. He does it again and his head will be flushed. Yo, I told you, homeboy, you can't touch this. Do it again and I'll play you to the gypsy. He tried to flush this. Get out of my way, man. You drink a lot, you're out of rhythm. You got the sweat in the room is spinning and now. You know, you drive the porcelain bus and so you throw up and touch. You leave the seat up and you're in a real Dutch. Cause your lady has to go. She sits right down and her butt cheeks get so wet. You're schmuck. She's wedged in tight. Now she's stuck. That's word because you know you can't flush this. Man, I think you're in deep. Can't flush this. Come on, man, let's flush it down. Can't flush this.
10:47 at 560. I will admit to one little fetish that I have, and that is, you know how they have most of the self-flushing toilets now in the public tea rooms?
Yes.
And, you know, you get up and walk away, and if you're a certain distance away, it automatically flushes. Well, like at Woodbine, if I have one of those serious movements, and I'll get up, and the thing's sometimes a little hesitant before it flushes, and I'll walk right to the edge of the inside of the door, as far away as I can from the toilet, to make sure that it flushes before I walk out. Because it's just very uncool to walk in, you know, for somebody else to walk in and you've left something visible behind. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Not
you
good.
shouldn't leave things behind, no.
That is correct. Kind of make you lose your appetite. Like Pat Robertson makes me lose my appetite for life. Religious broadcaster and lunatic and crazy person Pat Robertson warned residents of a rural Pennsylvania town yesterday that disaster may strike there because they voted God out of your city by ousting school board members who favored teaching so-called intelligent design. All 8 Dover, Pennsylvania school board members up for re-election were defeated Tuesday after trying to introduce intelligent design. Like that. The belief that the universe is so complex that it must have been created by a higher power is an alternative to the theory of evolution. I'd like to say to the good citizens of Dover, if there's a disaster in your area, don't turn to God. You just rejected him from your city, Robertson said on the Christian Broadcasting Network's 700 Club. In fact, when he's done killing Hugo Chavez, he's going to go to Dover and give them what for. 8 families had sued the district, claiming the policy violates the constitutional separation of church and state. The federal trial concluded days before Tuesday's election, but no ruling's been issued. Later Thursday, Robertson issued a statement saying he was simply trying to point out that our spiritual actions have consequences. God is tolerant and loving, but we can't keep sticking our finger in his eye forever, Robertson said. If they have future problems in Dover, I recommend they call on Charles Darwin. Maybe he can help them. Robertson made headlines this summer when he called on his Daily Show for his Daily Show, not the Daily Show, but his Daily Show for the assassination of Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez. In October 2003, he suggested the State Department be blown up with a nuclear device. He also said that feminism encourages women to kill their children, practice witchcraft, destroy capitalism, and become lesbians.
You failed.
Other than that, he's just your ordinary preacher guy. Just another guy. Let's see. Here's a fax that says, body wash. Nivea is good. However, unless it's antibacterial, which a lot of soaps are. Not wrong. Whoever sent this thinks they know something. You're full of crap. We've been telling you the antibacterial is bad stuff.
Right.
Because it creates this breed of germs that you have no resistance to. Don't use the antibacterial. Please believe me.
Correct.
It doesn't get you fully clean and germ-free. It says, oh, germ-free my ass. Will you stop all you people with this fetishes about being germ-free? Do you have any idea how many little microscopic things are crawling around on your scalp and other parts of your body?
Rectum.
Right now as I speak to you, okay? Things that you can't see. It's like dust mites.
Like
have you ever seen a dust mite? Have you ever seen one?
Not in person, no.
No, you can't see one because they're too small to be seen. But boy, you can sure feel them when they start biting you. Like when you go to a hotel, a lot of hotels, and they wash all the sheets and the pillowcases in one big tub, and as a result, they like having the dust mites in them. And you lay down, it could be even the nicest hotel going, but man, the sheets are like, and you lay down, you're there for like 15 minutes, and before you can fall asleep, you start itching, and then you wake up in the morning, you see these little scratches on your hand and other body parts.
Rectum.
That too. Also, it says public restrooms definitely need a layer of 3 of paper on the seat. A layer or 3. I'll even use my shoe to flush the toilet if it isn't automatic. Too many. Oh, jeez. Use his shoe to flush the toilet. Now, what about you, Miguel? Do you read the old-fashioned ones that have the handle? Do you reach down and flush it with your hand, or you use your shoe? What?
Shoe.
Bless you. Also, when are you coming down to your motor and appearance? Not.
Wheel.
And also, why is there no best of? What does that mean? Oh, in other words, why is there no best of CD? We're not doing that crap no more. Get out of here. Here's somebody just as annoying. Okay, whoever sent this fax, you're just annoying. Go away. That was then. This is now. We're moving onward and upward, okay? More money than ever, bigger ratings than anybody could imagine, and we're doing just fine. In spite of Tom Jicka and Mike Berardino and Dave Joseph. Well, I tell you, Hank he's got to find, well, he can do whatever he wants, but he ought to find a new circle of friends. Give him a different outlook on life.
Those are his boys.
Those are his boys, man. The most sour, negative bunch of slime balls. Dave Joseph and, oh, brother. Just negative, and sour. 526 votes. Which applies to you? Male, I shower with soap. God, we'll pray for you. We'll call Pat Robertson. He can say a bracha for you. 288. 54.7% of the men listening to this show shower with soap the old-fashioned way. Probably lava soap. Male, I shower with body wash with a squeegee, 91. Now, there's somebody with confidence, or maybe there's somebody who's, whatever, 91. Male, I shower with body wash, no squeegee, 62. No squeegee, though. I don't ever bathe, 45. 8.5%. So if you walk out, if you open up the door or just crack a window a little bit and you smell something that really stinks like hell, one of those 45 people is probably in the hood. They stink. They don't bathe. And I believe that, too, by the way. Female, shower with body wash, 23. And female, shower with soap, 17. 40. So out of 526, we're getting closer to our 10% women on the poll. Is that exciting? Aren't you thrilled? Not. We don't have enough women listening to this show to fill a phone booth with. Very sad. Speaking of sad, by the way, should we take a call or two or not? Because I got a big pile of stuff. It is Friday.
Oh, you know they're good. They only take one or two.
Oh, they will be good. WQAM, hello.
Them exfoliated.
WQAM, hello.
I'm in Orlando. Star Trek.
Okay, told you. I knew they'd be good.
You can always count on those.
Oh, yeah. 5670560. I'm always inspired when I take one or two, and they're that good, you know. 5670560 and pound 560 in the Verizon or Singular wireless line. How many wusses have we got out there that put toilet paper on a seat in the public tea room before they'll sit their ass down on it? I got news for you. Whoever sat there before you did probably had a cleaner ass than you got. How do you like that? That's my bet. Huh?
Doubt it.
No, I don't.
I do.
I don't. Especially with all them refried beans your people eat. You know, I wouldn't be surprised at all to me. God. 530, it's not even the end of the first hour yet. If we don't do 1,000 a day, we'll never do it again. That's my estimate. I could be wrong, but I think we ought to be pushing for it, don't you? Because we're going to be pushing on to 600 by the end of the first hour. That's because I got up early this morning, came in here and flipped the poll on just out of curiosity, because I thought it was going to be a preliminary poll. That was the original idea. And then after I got up the second time at 8 o'clock, came in here and said, holy moly, we're getting a lot of votes on this, because this is everybody's got to wash sooner or later, or not, as the case may be.
Right.
Even some of our salespeople. In fact, Fat Boy takes a whole a project to get him washed. They have to, like, squid like a hog. They have to slop him down. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
Pretty good.
Hey, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he's a pretty religious guy, and you know, I was asking him just a question. I said, you know, what makes your religion more right than somebody else's religion?
Yeah.
And he said, well, you know, I'm the right. I said, well, how do you know you're right? And I said, you know, I've read the Bible before, you know, and I have a hard time believing Moses was 900 years old. Or no, Noah. I'm sorry, Noah.
Mm-hmm.
From the ark bit, and he says, oh, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but I'm going to take 77 virgins over the 900-year-old guy.
72. Don't get your hopes up. It's 72. You better keep it within perspective, okay, Pally? Okay, there's a guy that's converting to Islam. He's probably going to come and blow up your hood pretty soon. Trace the call. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I definitely use body wash, but I'm trying to find out what's this squeegee he's talking about.
Oh, it's like a little, like a cloth, or you can use a washcloth, you can use a sponge or a loofah, they call it. It's a brand name. You can use anything to put it on, to wash with.
Yeah, I use a loofah. So you just put it on with
Excellent.
a loofah.
Excellent. Here's a real man on the phone. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. See, you sound like a real man.
Gay.
No, he was not gay, okay? That's Miguel for you again. Everything is
gay.
Everybody is
gay.
And everything
gay.
is. That's because of the hood that he grew up in, okay? All of them were. Now, speaking of strange, polygraph supports man in toilet tail. We've been giving you the updates on this story, and there's this picture. He looks like, definitely to me, like a guy who's had his ass glued to a toilet seat. He just looks the part. This is Rocky Mountain News, Nederland. Every time I say Nederland, I keep thinking of Netherlands. I don't know why, because it just sounds like it. That's the name of the place in Colorado. The man who said he was glued to a Home Depot toilet seat in 2003 passed a polygraph test administered Wednesday this week. Bob Doherty, 57, smiled inside his lawyer's office just minutes after learning of the test results. Wheat Ridge polygrapher Jeff Jenks was paid an undisclosed amount of money by Fox 31 News in Denver, I guess that is, to perform the test. Jenks asked Doherty about 20 questions, Doherty said, and 4 of those questions dealt with an allegation by a former town official that Doherty said he was stuck to a toilet seat in the visitor center's restroom in 2004. Doherty denied that allegation. And you know something? If he would have put paper down on the seat first, he would have got stuck to it.
See that?
In my opinion, he is telling the truth, Jenks told the station. I knew it was going to be like this, Doherty said of the polygraph results. The finding prompted Doherty to call for an apology from Nederland officials. I'm not going to be putting up with crackpots, he told Fox 31. I don't need any more of this stress. I want them to fix my name now that they've dirtied it. First they dirtied his ass rectum with that glue, and now they've dirtied his name. Doherty, who said he threw up prior to an interview with Rocky Mountain News, said he agreed to take the test because everybody thinks I'm dirty. This is going to kill me. My life is shortened as it is. Mark Cohen, Doherty's lawyer, also set out to find the source of Tuesday's news story, which quoted former town director of operations Ron Truspaz as saying he took a complaint from Doherty in 2004 about a sticky toilet seat. Cohen issued a public records request to the town asking for 7 sets of documents, including copies of any phone records or fax records or emails evidencing any communication by any town employee with any newspaper or media outlet during the last 14 days. Doherty made national news with his $3 million lawsuit against Home Depot. On October 30th, 2003...
About 30, man.
He said he was glued to a toilet seat in the Louisville store. Doherty said he needed to use the restroom urgently, reached for a paper seat cover before sitting down. When the dispenser was empty, he sat down anyway. That's when his legs and buttocks became affixed to the seat, which was unbolted by paramedics and carried out with Doherty still attached. Doherty and his lawyer, Mark Cohen, said they're suing, Marty Cohen, suing a Home Depot because employees ignored his calls for help and failed to stock toilet seat covers. News of a possible copycat situation in Bakersfield, California, was reported on MSNBC on Wednesday. The unidentified man was taken to a hospital still attached to the toilet seat, according to news reports. So actually, if you want to be famous, just bring a bunch of crazy glue in or maybe super glue.
That'll get you on TV.
To the can. Then you have to worry about putting that pain in the ass paper down.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Did you know that Johnny Carson ate Cab Calloway's baby to stay slim?
Where did you hear that?
I read it in the toilet.
Curious people want to know. Did you know there's a place just 6 feet under the earth where you go when you die?
Where did you pick that up?
I picked it up in the toilet. Here's what you'll find in the toilet this week.
Princess Di gave birth to a 65-pound show horse.
John Candy's come back in a spaceship with a super new diet.
Bert is dating John Hinckley to make Warren jealous.
I'm sleeping with Joan Collins and I don't even know it.
Where did you read that?
In the toilet.
The National Toilet. Put a quarter in the slot and we'll wipe the world for you.
It's 11:02 at 560 WQM. Happy Friday to you. Yesterday, I discovered, how the hell did I discover that list? I guess somebody faxed it in, that first list of dead celebrities.
You took it from there.
I took it from there. I picked up the ball and I ran with it. Who2.com. It's a pretty neat website. So anyway, I was checking that thing out last night. Now, here's another list of celebrities, of famous people, who are critter defenders.
Okay.
They aren't necessarily members of the unctuous organization that George hates so much, but they're like critter defenders. They're like animals. It says, naturally, you'd expect such scientific luminaries as Jane Goodall to champion animal rights. After all, she studied apes for most of her life. And if you've read their books, it's not surprising that authors Astrid Lindgren and Alice Walker should be among those who advocate better treatment for animals. But did you know about these other celebrities who have a soft spot for our furry friends?
Oh, I'm
so
interested.
I could use a line about that, but Joyce would get very upset. Let's just stay away from our furry friends. Star of The Exorcist actress Linda Blair, well, we knew that, I think, is also possessed with a desire to save animals from exploitation and extinction. She contributes to various charities that educate the public on animal issues. She even has a hand in alternate.com, a lifestyle site devoted to cruelty-free products and leather alternatives. I wonder if they use animal products and byproducts in soap. See, Miguel likes the soap because he figures it's made from old Jews. Former Beatle Sir Paul McCartney is a well-known vegetarian, converted one day at lunch while watching the family sheep cavort. His late wife, Linda McCartney, was an outspoken advocate of vegetarianism and the author of several cookbooks. In the 90s, she marketed a line of meatless frozen foods. Now, what is it? Is it the Seventh-day Adventists who eat that crap? I mean, who eat that good stuff, the meatless stuff?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Come on now. What about the Boca Burgers? Those aren't too bad.
If you say so.
You ever had a Boca Burger?
No, I can't say that I have.
Well, you wouldn't like them.
I probably wouldn't.
Other popular recording stars who champion animal rights include electronica wizard Moby. Oh, thank God Moby's not gay. Singer-songwriter Chrissy Hynde of The Pretenders. Is that Hynde, H-Y-N-D-E?
Yes.
Crooner Katie Lang. Oh, thank God she's not gay. And blues rocker Melissa Etheridge.
Guess what?
What?
Gay.
Bob Barker, host of the TV game show The Price is Right, is the founder of the DJ&T Foundation, an organization that funds the spaying and neutering of animals. He also has waged a public campaign to ban elephants from circuses, and in 88 he quit his host of the Miss America and Miss Universe pageants when officials insisted on giving a fur coat as a prize. He said, bye-bye. He said he'll go hop on his own pet fur coats. At any rate, former Hollywood couple Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger are proud members of the... Oh, like I said, I made a bad mistake. They're proud members of...
PETA.
Oh, no. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, the Performing Animal Welfare Society, PAWS, isn't that cute? PAWS, and other organizations that work for animal rights. Baldwin especially has become one of the more outspoken celebrity advocates for animal rights movement and is such something of a lightning rod for its opponents. Just like in the movie, what's the movie? Alec Baldwin, with the marionettes.
Yeah.
The movie with the marionettes. Boy, you guys are just between the two of you. You have no clue?
No clue.
We just got through talking. I just watched it here a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, you guys are like so out of touch. And you're like experts on toilet seats and soap. My God, if I were you, I'd keep my opinions real closeted, like most of your relatives. Twins Alexandra Paul and Caroline Paul, Both are vegetarians, animal rights activists. Alexandra Paul was a co-star on the TV show Baywatch. Caroline was one of the first women to join the San Francisco Fire Department. Alexandra's defense of critters extends even to silkworms. For her 2000 wedding, she reportedly chose a wedding dress which contained no silk. Isn't that lovely? In the 1990s, TV talk show host and sometimes actress Ricki Lake gave Baldwin a run for his money as the most newsworthy celebrity against animal cruelty. She and her husband were arrested in an anti-fur protest in New York, and Lake did a brief stint in the Slammer. Unrepentant, she continues to be an advocate for animal welfare. Working for animal welfare is no recent fad. Celebrities who have been involved for years in the fight for better conditions for animals include actresses from all over the spectrum, from Doris Day and Alicia Silverstone to Bridget Bardot, Ellen DeGeneres, from Mary Tyler Moore and Tippi Hedren, who likes all of the animals except the birds, to Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And in the last decade, even supermodels have made their opinions known, with top models Naomi Campbell and Christy Turlington coming out publicly against fur. Another anti-fur celebrity is actress and cypher pinup Pamela Anderson. That cow. The former star of TV's Baywatch was given a 1999 award from PETA for her public outspokenness on animal abuse and the fur industry. That must be another reason George hates her like poison. And in the movie Babe, actor James Cromwell played the good farmer Hoggett, friend and mentor to a sheep-herding pig. In real life, Cromwell is a friend to all animals, and the narrator of a PETA film urging people to stop eating pigs. Oh, no chance. I love my bratwurst, baby.
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody like bratwurst?
Of course.
And every now and then a good poke chop?
Yummy. Mm-hmm.
He has urged government officials and the public many times to put an end to animal cruelty. In 2001, was arrested outside a Wendy's hamburger restaurant while trying to persuade people to boycott the fast food chain. Oh, man, we like Wendy's on this show.
Yes, we do.
Who was that? Which jerk was this that was doing that?
James Cromwell.
James Cromwell. Farmer Hoggett. Get lost. 5670560, pound 5, World Police, Team America World Police. That's the movie I was thinking of. You haven't seen that?
I have it, but I haven't seen it. He has. Of course.
You're the one that sent it to me, I thought. And you didn't know the movie when I said Alec Baldwin, Marionette? Boy, you're still worried about my Matt Manti. You're like so far behind, man. You're like on a time delay. Josh is working on a 2-hour delay today.
What do you mean by that, Alec Baldwin? Like, you could have said Alec Baldwin, you know.
Marionettes? What other movie have you ever seen where they had marionettes portraying Alec Baldwin?
Well, puppets, it was better for me. You lost them at marionette. Yeah, you did.
You see, there is a difference between a puppet and a marionette. A marionette has strings attached. A puppet doesn't have any strings attached to it.
Okay.
Got it?
I got it.
See, you learned something today. Like Howdy Doody was a marionette. He had strings on him. No strings attached. 580 votes, which apply. We're going to have like 600 in just a second here, and I would bet you like 750 by noon. Holy moly, we're going to go way over 1,000 today because people are worked up about soap and body wash. In fact, they're slinging at each other. They're so pissed off about it.
You started a craze.
Maybe we can have like a riot in town this weekend. We have the body wash people line up on one side of the street and the soap people, they can heave it at each other.
And the soap people are going to win.
Yeah, probably. Probably like be shaving jagged edges on their bars of soap. And don't drop it, whatever you do. Especially you guys the guys that have the soap on a rope. Believe you me, I know about them.
Yay.
Yeah, they need the soap on the rope because they have a habit of dropping it intentional. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Good. I just wanted to thank you for getting me the Flavor Wave idea.
You actually bought one?
Yes, I did.
Excellent.
Had it for 3 weeks and use it all the time.
One of the best damn things you'll ever buy. I use mine every day.
You know the best thing? My wife liked the idea. And usually she doesn't like things that I bring in.
Yeah, well, I'll teach her a thing or two. Okay, Pally, enjoy it.
Hey, also, go Red Wings, #1.
Yeah, okay, goodbye. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular Wireless guy. He made a good choice, but he's still a very boring guy. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, this is Eric Reed. What you doing?
It's who? Oh, it's Eric Reed. You're not talking through your teeth like Eric Reed. Bad imitation, Eric. You got to say the score is 77 to 76. Then I know it's Eric Reed. In fact, he sounded more like Greg Reed than Eric Reed, to be honest with you. When you put your fist through the wall, we'll know if it's Greg or Eric, okay? We'll tell by the telltale sign. WQAM, hello, line 9.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, get the Axe body wash. I just got it this week.
I've seen that. Let me ask you a question. Is it good stuff?
It's good, but I do it just with my hands.
Well, we know that. That's a bulletin. I have seen the Axe.
Their bottles are very small.
Yeah, they're very small. Not a good value. The Zest is huge. Have you seen the Zest?
I have not.
Really? Now, Zest is a good manly soap. I think you'd like it. It comes like in 2 flavors that I've seen. One, the bottle is kind of a little pink. I think maybe too pink for you. The other is blue. Very manly.
I stick to my 2 soaps, and I'm good.
Well, Why can't you be a little more adventurous than that? I understand if you try something and you like it, you stick with it. But since it's a new concept, relatively speaking, the last couple of years, why wouldn't you want to try a whole bunch of them, like a rainbow of varieties like I got there?
I know. See, I don't need that.
Now, do you have a ledge in your shower? Is there like a little ledge?
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect. You better start working on it, man.
But I don't need 15
In fact,
body
when you
wash.
shave, you might want to shave in the shower. Put your edge on the ledge. Now, please don't tell me you use that old-fashioned shaving cream.
I have an electric razor.
Oh, like I said, boy, oh man, what are we? Is there a real man around at this station?
What are you talking? It's top of the line. The Braun, man, cleans itself.
No, that is a good one. You're right. Braun is good. I prefer the Gillette, disposables, the new ones. They keep making them better and better. The new ones are so good you don't even know you're shaving. You don't even feel them.
Well, if you're going to use a razor, you should use the vibrating Mach 3. You got to get a hold of that if you use a razor. You haven't tried that. Why don't you try that?
You stick
try
with
all
your
the body
vibrator.
wash.
You stick with your vibrator. I'll stick with mine, Macho Man. Okay. This is a guy worried about his body wash. He's at home with a vibrator in the shower. We don't want to hear about it. Okay. Joyce will be calling. We'll be in. Just because George isn't here today doesn't mean you don't need to fill the gap.
Okay.
With his usual filth and perversion. Okay. How's those cheerleaders doing, by the way, at Banana Joe's?
Still in that stall.
593 votes. Now, there's a stall that Miguel probably wouldn't mind hanging out, although with that brunette in there, I'm not too sure. Did you see the pictures? I'm sure you did.
Yeah, of course.
Now, was she not a dog face or what?
That is the
an Afghan hound face. I don't want to insult other breeds.
10 extra points.
Because the ugliest dog is an Afghan. Now, how come we're slowing down on the poll here? We have 595 votes. We ought to be way over 600 by now. What's with you people, for Christ's sakes? Jesus, God Almighty. This doesn't even require an opinion, just a fact. Which applies to you. A male, I shower with soap, 327. 55% still living in a stoned age, man. You're crazy. You're lunatics. Throw the soap away. Open the window and heave it out the window. Male, I shower with body wash. With a squeegee, 107. That makes me feel so much better about life. Guys that aren't all worried about, what's everybody going to think? Who cares? If the rest of the world knows what you're doing in the shower, man, you got real problems, real issues. Male, I shower with body wash, but no squeegee yet. I'm working up to it. 69. I don't even bathe, 49. Female, I shower with body wash, 24. Female, I shower with soap, 19. So out of 595 votes, we got 43 women. Man, we are really hurting over here.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours.
You fairy.
My beliefs are what's required to avoid a lake of fire. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. While my religion advocates bigotry and racial hate, my religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. What we like about it best, I fondle boys and wear a dress. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. We have no respect for women. Drive a cab to make a living. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. Chupacabra, spooky ghost, we slaughter pigs and dogs and goats. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. Yeah. We wear beanies and pigtails and never ever pay tails. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We knock on doors to bother you like Fuller Brush to spew our views. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We wear ties and ride our bikes and get to marry lots of wives. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We don't want to use our brains. We're mindless lemmings on parade. My religion's better than yours.
Absolutely.
11:19 at 560 WQM. Happy Friday to you. We got the Momeister coming up at 2 o'clock for 2 hours of really scintillating radio. Final result on this poll. I decided to change the poll. You want to know why?
Why?
Well, because how much is it going to change over the weekend? I think when you get 616 votes, that's a pretty good prognosticator of just how this is going to turn out, don't you think?
Yes.
Which applies to you. Male, I shower with soap, 340. 55.1% of the men listening to this show are still living in the Stone Age, man. They're still dropping the soap and enjoying it. Male, I shower with body wash with a squeegee, which could be like, washcloth, a loofah, whatever, sponge, 113. Male, I shower with body wash, no squeegee, 70. I don't even bathe, 49. Female, I shower with body wash, 24. Female showers with soap, 20. So that's 44. That's about 8%. Pretty weak, if you ask me. Is that a pretty weak number? 8% women?
Yeah.
But then again, it's QAM, and it's a sports nerd station that has no women listening, basically. So we have to, generate our own audience.
Yeah,
so we're not doing much of a job. Here's the new poll for the rest of the day and the weekend. And maybe I left something out of here, but I don't think so. The most traumatic time in South Florida history was the Mariel boat lift, which I voted for that. Can there be any doubt? The first wave of Cuban immigration, McDuffie riots, the Alien saga, 2000 hanging Chad election, Hurricane Wilma or Hurricane Andrew. Aren't those some pretty good choices, I think? Any other traumatic time that I'm missing?
No, I think we're good to go.
I've been thinking about it for a while, but...
Yeah, think about it. Put on your thinking cap. Josh will loan you his vibrating razor, and then you can put on your thinking cap and line the seat there. Why aren't you lining the seat with toilet paper? Because you don't want to catch George's cooties there. Now, which room are you in?
I'm in George's seat.
See, you don't want to catch those cooties. God only knows. I'm wearing jeans. Especially after he sat around for almost 2 weeks with no power in the house. God only knows what kind of things are crawling around that place.
Well, I'm a little worried about this mic, but, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, I'd get that Listerine and I'd spray it clean. I would. Bush and GOP mired in political quicksand. Now, I got a whole pile of stuff here, and Miguel gets upset when I read the stories. And you know what? You can rot in hell, man. I could care less. If you like it, don't like it. Just sit there and dummy up. That's all.
Okay.
And every now and then interject some stupid comment. Works for George. Bush and GOP. Well, this is the new poll that's out. We got more polling going on, a lot of polls. Democrats might be overstating their gubernatorial victories Tuesday in Jersey and Virginia are glaring signs for next year's midterm congressional elections and beyond. But one thing is pretty clear. Bush and the GOP seem to be mired in political quicksand. Oh, where's that record by Martha and the Vandellas when I need a quicksand? Don't you like that? Oh, and Martha Reeves from Martha and the Vandellas, she's running for political orifice in Detroit. Isn't that great?
Okay.
Gotta have something for her to do. She's gotten tired of showing up in Branson, Missouri, I guess, with Andy Williams. And that's kind of sad. All these old recording artists, and I do mean old, they have to wind up going to Niagara Falls and Branson and places like that. The NBC News Wall Street Journal poll released Wednesday night finds that all 5 of Bush's job approval ratings and overall job performance, the economy, foreign policy, terrorism, and Iraq are at an all-time low in the survey. Oh! In addition, the CIA leak scandal seems to be taking a toll, too, with nearly 80% believing the indictment of Dick Cheney's former chief of staff, Scooter Libby, is a serious matter, and with Bush experiencing a 17-point drop since January, and those who see him as honest and straightforward. Which is, better late than never, I guess. With the midterms a year away, these numbers could spell trouble for the GOP. These are not good times for Republicans, said Republican pollster Bill McInturf, who conducted the survey with Democratic pollster Peter Hart. This is a very pissed-off, unhappy electorate that's going to be unstable, and they're terrifically unstable numbers for a Republican majority, he said. Perhaps the best news for Republicans in the poll is that Democrats aren't necessarily faring much better, and rightfully so, by the way. Weak-kneed, spineless cowards that they are. Both parties are having problems, McInturf says. According to the poll, Bush's approval rating stands at an all-time low in this poll of 38%. It's the third consecutive poll. Keep dropping, in other words, and it doesn't stop there. Approval for his handling of the economy, 34%. Foreign policy, 35%. Terrorism, 39%. And Iraq, 32% have all hit rock bottom. Rock bottom. How do you like that? Now, where's the liar? 57% say that they can't trust him. Where was the thing on that? Oh, here it is. 33% gave Bush a positive rating for being honest. 57% said he's a liar, even worse than Greg Reed, which I'm telling you, when you hear that, then you know you're in real trouble. I mean, that's the epitome of lyingness, when you're a worse liar than even our fearless leader. That's bad. And Patrick Buchanan writes, this is in honor of George, who's not working today, but he's become a big Pat Buchanan fan, because Pat is one of those right-wing Nazis who occasionally gets like a moment of clarity and has to spew out some truth. He says, with the rout of Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger's initiatives, Democratic victories in New Jersey and Virginia, and President Bush's free fall in national polls on job performance, credibility, and character, the Republican Party is in imminent peril of losing the country, says Pat.
Absolutely.
Indeed, since 9/11, the party's indulged in a willful self-delusion that has become America's party. The Bush triumph in 2004 Talking heads braid settled the matter. Red State America has triumphed over Blue State America. The future belongs to us. This was always hyperbole. Where Nixon and Reagan rolled up 49 state landslides and re-election runs, Bush won 31 states, losing every state north of the Potomac and east of Ohio, 2 of the 3 great industrial states of the Midwest, Michigan and Illinois, and was skunked on the Pacific Rim. Had Kerry hammered him on trade and lost jobs in Ohio, Bush would have been a one-term president. What killed the first Bush presidency and is ruining the second is the abandonment of Reaganism and his embrace of the twin heresies of neoconservatism and the big government conservatism as preached by the resident ideologues at the Weekly Standard and Wall Street Journal. Weekly Standard, a.k.a. Bill Kristol. Nazi bastard. Under Bush 1, taxes were raised, funding for HUD and education exploded, and a quota bill was signed under which small businesses accused of racial discrimination were made to prove their innocence or to be punished in true Soviet fashion. Under Bush 2, social spending has exploded to levels that LBJ might envy. Foreign aid has been doubled. Pork at every meal has become the GOP diet of choice. Surpluses have vanished, and the deficit is soaring back toward 5% of GDP. Bill Clinton is starting to look like Barry Goldwater. Both Bushes abandoned the economic patriotism that had put Americans first for free trade globalism. Result, the most massive trade deficits in U.S. history, the gutting of our industrial base, the loss of millions of manufacturing jobs, and the largest wealth transfer of all time, with technology, factories, high-tech, and high-skilled jobs pouring out of America into Asia. Working America, the middle class, have been sacrificed on the high altar of the Republican Moloch of free trade. And how have our Chinese brothers reciprocated our magnanimity? Both Bushes embraced open borders immigration policy the Wall Street Journal has trumpeted for 2 decades. Result, we have 10 to 15 million illegal aliens in our country, among whom gangs like the murderous Mara Saltavur or whatever her name was are proliferating. Native-born California taxpayers are fleeing the Golden State as third-world tax consumers pour in. So great is the crisis on the Mexican border, even the liberal Democratic governors in New Mexico and Arizona have declared states of emergency. Meanwhile, 35,000 U.S. troops stand guard on the border of South Korea. The late editorial editor of the Journal, Robert Bartley, once said, "I believe that the nation-state is finished." He and his progeny have surely done their level best to bring that about. As a country we grew up and becomes unrecognizable, we still hear the Journal, that good and faithful servant of the U.S. Business Roundtable, warning us not to oppose open borders. Meanwhile, our very own Dr. Pangloss, Ben Wattenberg, warbles on about our being the first universal nation, and in echo, they burble, "Isn't diversity wonderful?" In foreign policy, Bush 1 was an internationalist out to build a new world order after the Cold War. However, post-9/11, Bush 2 converted to a neoconservatism that calls for unilateral American intervention in the Middle East and the Islamic world to bring down dictators and establish democracy. Thus, in March 2003, Bush, in perhaps the greatest strategic blunder in U.S. history, invaded an Arab nation that hadn't attacked us, didn't want war with us, didn't threaten us, to strip it of weapons we now know it didn't have. Results, Shia and Kurds have been liberated from Saddam, but Iran has a new ally in southern Iraq. Osama's got a new base in the Sunni Triangle. The Arab and Islamic world have been radicalized against the U.S., and copycat killers of al-Qaeda have been targeting our remaining allies in Europe and the Middle East, Spain, Britain, Egypt, and Jordan. And lest we forget, 2055, that's 2058 now, Americans are dead, and Walter Reed Hospital's filling up. True to the neoconservative creed, Bush launched a global crusade for democracy that's now bringing even closer to power Hamas in Gaza and the West Bank, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt and Syria, and Shia fundamentalists in Baghdad and Basra. Democratic imperialism is still imperialism. The Arab and Islamic peoples, whether the crusaders come in the name of God or in the name of democracy, they're still crusaders. When Ronald Reagan went home to California, his heir said goodbye to all that and embraced big government conservatism and neoconservatism. If they don't find their way home soon to the principles of Taft, Goldwater, and Reagan, they will perish in the wilderness into which they've led us all. Says the ultra-right-wing Nazi Pat Buchanan. Even he's pissed off and fired up. How do you like that? 50 votes on the poll here. Let's see what we got so far in the second poll. Trauma time. Most traumatic time in South Florida. 2000 hanging chat election 15. Mariel boat lift 12. That was a lot of fun for those of us who survived it. Hurricane Wilma 6, Hurricane Andrew 6, first wave of Cuban immigration 5. What do you say to that?
Increíble.
The Elianito saga 4 and the McDuffie riots solamente dos.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
Rectum.
47 till noon at QAM. 78 votes on the new poll, so we need 384 on this one to get to our 1,000 for the day. Are you keeping that number in mind?
Yep.
384, and we got 78 already. We're on our way to San Jose. Now, Jane sent interesting facts here. Not really all that interesting that I wanted to resend it. And you faxed it to me. Is it the way it came out here, or was it this way when you sent it?
It was that way when I got it. There's a few sentences missing.
Yeah. Just enough so it doesn't make any sense. It's like a crappy fax that came out, Jane. It didn't come out too good. And she says something. I don't know what she says. A whole bunch of stuff. Thanks, Jane. There's one lady out there listening who even bothered to send a fax. But I can't read it because it's got like all kinds of blotches and puke on it. Man found guilty of drugging young men for sex and torture in Tampa. But there's a lot of crap going down in Tampa, you know what? Too bad the storm didn't wipe that town right off the map. I mean, there might be a few people we like over there, like the people at Donatello's and Burns Steakhouse. But other than that, wipe that thing right off the map and start all over again. Bunch of yahoos.
Now, where were you when you were in Tampa?
Where was I?
Like downtown Tampa?
I've been all over Tampa. I've been to Tampa a zillion times. Burns Steakhouse, Donatello's, which I just mentioned both. I think Crystal there on Dale Mabry.
I mean, you worked in Tampa for a while,
No,
right?
I didn't work in Tampa, but we had, when I was at IOD, we had a week where they were redoing our studio in IOD. So the whole bunch of us, the whole station, the whole staff had to go over to Tampa, and they put us up in a hotel. And we had to do our shows from WSUN, which at that time was simulcasting our shows.
I see.
So we did the shows from Tampa. Why do you ask? In other words, you're suggesting I don't know Tampa? I know Tampa.
No. I was going to ask you what part of Tampa you were in.
But when you say what part of Tampa, I mean, it's like, there's downtown Tampa, which is pretty boring. And then they got that, it looks like something out of India with the University of Tampa, those strange buildings they got,
Yeah.
And then there's Dale Mabry, which is where all your nudie bars are. It's probably where you hang out. There's really not sections of 10, and of course you go over way west and you go over to the beach, which nothing. It's nothing there really. And St. Pete, we're also in St. Pete, where the average age is death.
Yeah.
In fact, we did eat a pretty good Italian restaurant in St. Pete, which I'll never know the name of what it was, but that was pretty good. They got some good restaurants over there. I can't figure it out. I just don't understand why, like Tampa and Orlando, with a bunch of backwater rednecks, they got so many great restaurants. And in South Florida, I mean, not that there aren't some, but per capita, there just aren't nearly as many good restaurants in South Florida as there are in Tampa. Can we agree on that?
Okay.
Well, I'm just telling you that. Maybe you haven't eaten in any place like except Steak and Shake. I don't know. Well, where were you in Tampa that was so great?
Where did I live?
Oh, you lived in Tampa?
I lived in Tampa for 2 years.
Oh, my, that explains so much.
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, I lived in Brandon.
Oh, and Brandon. Now, that's really the anus of the universe, Brandon. That's East Tampa, Brandon. Now, isn't that where, is it Brandon or Bartow where they used to have the old Cow Palace? In fact, you asked where I was. I went to,
That's Bartow.
In Bartow, they had the old Cow Palace where the Lightning played the first 2 seasons. And before we had the Panthers, there was only Tampa Bay. So as being the big Leafs fan that I am, every time the Leafs would play Tampa, I'd go over there to that Cow Palace and saw a couple, and the Leafs would just pound the crap. The Lightning were really bad. I mean, really bad back then. And the Leafs would just pound the daylights out, and I loved it. But that was the most bizarre place. It was like a hockey arena in a circus tent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
well,
much.
I'm sure you, being the big hockey fan that you are, you've went to a lot of games there.
Yeah, not one.
Not.
Went to the Ice Palace, though.
And the Ice Palace is also a very strange place. In fact, the Ice Palace...
It's not bad.
Oh, that's a new place, right?
Yeah.
I've never been to that one. What was the intermediate one in between that? Was the old arena?
I don't remember.
There was an arena in between. And in that arena, it was like... It wasn't pitched... The seats weren't pitched properly, so that, like... If you were sitting... There was a woman with a big bee-bonnet haircut sitting in front of me. I remember one game, and I couldn't see over her head.
Yeah,
I had to keep like leaning from side to side because the seats were not like angled at the right angle. That's Tampa for you, man. Really screwed up. So you liked it there, huh?
Well, you know, it was like my first 2 years of high school. I didn't have a bad time, but I wouldn't want to. I definitely like it down here better.
I mean, there's like a lot of horny farm girls there, I'm sure, in Tampa. You know, trailer trash.
Well, you know, you're kind of in a redneck place when you drive up like main streets and all you see is truck beds for sale.
Right.
Like every other light.
No, I think the thing that you need to see in Tampa is just, it's like in South Florida. You look around when you're on the interstate, for example, on 95, and you look around and you see that the people to your left and the people to your right are all like geeks. A lot of them are like, not like normal people. They're like all, it looks like the spaceship just landed. And in Tampa, they all have like the orange hair and they have like one eye, kind of like Kenny Albert. They got their one eye down where their chin is supposed to be. They're like out of this world.
Oh yeah, you go to that big ass Brandon Mall and you'll see some mutants.
And I'm going to tell you something. We did when we started simulcasting ISUN. It was Randy Rhodes and me and Rick and Suds and Little George, and they were simulcasting our shows. We did an appearance or two, and the first appearance we did at one of the malls, and I can't for the life of me remember what mall it was, and there were like 5,000 people showed up.
I mean, Brandon,
5,000 people showed up. Not that we ever had any big ratings over there, but, man, they sure were interested. Go ahead. I think they wanted to lynch us.
If you remember that mall, I think it's like the third biggest mall in the world. It's huge.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a gigantic.
In Brandon?
Yeah, right there.
The only thing I remember about Brandon is when you drive through, when you go to Tampa and you go that way through Brandon, coming from the east.
Right.
Is that every fast food joint that's ever been invented is something you never heard of are in that one, what is that, 60? Highway 60?
Exactly. And all it is fast food. There's a big movies and a big mall. That's it.
That's Brandon.
That's Brandon.
Well, what's not to like?
Right.
Now, as opposed to Lutz, for example, or Temple Terrace, where the real yahoos, I might have to play that Chronic from Lutz again today. Now, if Miguel come up while he's busy thinking and laying out with anything there left off this poll. We got 100 votes. That means we need just 284 to get to our 1,000 for today. I'm keeping track here like it's some kind of a contest. I leave anything out? Traumatic times in South Florida? Anything major event?
I don't know. A lot of Cuban stuff on this poll, though.
Well, if you wouldn't say that South Florida's been... Are you getting defensive again? Is that
I'm just curious.
Did I invent Alienito? Did I invent the Mariel boat lift? Did I invent the post-Castro coming in first wave of Cuban immigration? No. Those things changed the face and the ass of South Florida, baby.
Wasn't the first wave the Mariel boat lift?
No. The first wave was in 1960.
Oh.
After they threw out Batista after Castro. See, you talk a good game, but you don't even know your Cuban history. You know nothing. What are you talking about? That's all you know is Castro and Cuba and Cuba and Cuba. You're like worse than those old green tooth bastards in Domino Park. God, you wouldn't know Fats Domino from Domino Park. I do like Fats Domino. Let's get into that again. And thank God he's still walking to New Orleans. He's still okay. He disappeared there for a couple of days.
Where did they find him again?
He was hanging out at some football. Let's see, an LSU player. I think the punter or the place kicker. He's hanging out at his house. He was hanging. 107 votes. The most traumatic time in South Florida was the 2000 hanging Chad election, 25. The Mariel boat lift, 25. That sure turned Dade County into a toilet. Hurricane Andrew, 22. The first wave of Cuban immigration, 13. With or without Hyman Roth. Hurricane Wilma, 12. The Alien Saga, 7. And McDuffie Riot. So now, if you even saw Godfather 2, Miguel, then you certainly must know about the overthrow, even though that was supposed to be fiction, the overthrow of Batista, that fascista.
They were pretty on. They were pretty dead on there.
Well, there you go. Just like they were dead on in Godfather 3 about how they killed the old Pope. And the Vatican banking scandal. And Robert Calvin getting murdered. All of those things. All of these things.
And now, another tale from the cell phone of Dick Cheney. Today, Dick dials celebrity biographer Kitty Kelly.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Kitty Kelly, please.
Speaking.
Yes, Kitty, this is Dick Cheney, Vice President of the United States of America. How are you?
Fine.
That's good. That's nice.
Is there something I can help you with?
Yes. It's just that book that's coming out next week that you wrote. Frankly, we question its credibility, and I was wondering if maybe you could wait a couple of months before actually putting it out.
I'm sorry, my phone is breaking up. Did you just ask me not to print the book until after the election?
Yes. After George Bush gets reelected, print all you want. We won't care then.
Why would I want to do that? Hello?
Money grubbing a...
What?
Liar!
Oh, my...
If your book's released, the terrorists win!
Huh?
You're messing with the President of the United States of America!
Okay, I'm hanging up now?
We know where you live, you dumb bitch!
Okay.
That's right. We'll get your little dog Toto, too!
Bye-bye.
What's wrong with you? Hello? Hello?
This has been another tale from the cell phone of Dick Cheney.
There he is. There's the biggest crook of them all, baby. He'd be the best, old Dick Cheney. 14 till 2, man. This thing's gone by fast, hasn't it? Anyway, I started to read this story, and you got me sidetracked with all your stories about Tampa and Steak and Shake and Crystal and Donatello's. I bet you never ate at Donatello's on Dale Mabry, even though you lived there 2 years, did you?
No, I did not.
You missed out. That's an outstanding, awesome place. Maybe a little too upscale for you back then.
Yeah, back then?
Like I said, right now. A Tampa man was found guilty yesterday in federal court of 9 counts of drugging young men to rape and torture them. Kind of sounds a little bit like Abu Ghraib. 2 of the victims of Stephen Lorenzo ended up dead, and he's likely to face murder charges in state court later on. The jury deliberated about 3 hours over 2 days before finding Lorenzo, 46, guilty of slipping the date rape drug GHB into the drinks of all 9 victims and then sexually torturing them at his home.
I thought
How many victims was that, Robert?
9.
Yeah. What?
I thought the date rape drug was roofies.
Well, you stick with your date rape drug and let him stick with his. Michael Wachholz and Jason Galehouse, both 26, were killed. The other 7 victims all testified about meeting Lorenzo at bars, either losing track of their drinks or having Lorenzo serve them drinks before they lost consciousness. The men woke up naked and in pain, some remembering bondage or forced sex, and others having almost no memory of what happened at all. Lorenzo's attorney argued that the sex acts were consensual. Prosecutors said Lorenzo teamed up with Scott Schweikert, a Chicago man he met online, to fulfill their ultimate fantasy by killing Wachholz and Galehouse. Galehouse was killed and dismembered by Schweikert and Lorenzo December 19, 2003, after the three engaged in sex, an indictment said. Well, it's probably just, consensual.
Oh, sure.
Schweikert told federal agents he and Lorenzo cut up the body, put the pieces in garbage bags, and scattered them in trash bins throughout the city. I knew there was some stench in Tampa. Well, now we know what it's from. The next night, Lorenzo and Schweikert allegedly drug, raped, and killed Wachholz, wrapping him in a bedsheet and leaving him in his Jeep, according to the indictment. The vehicle was discovered January 6, 2004. Investigators found on Lorenzo's computer hundreds of thousands of images, including photos of Wachholz's dead body taken at Lorenzo's house hours after he was last seen. Galehouse's DNA was found in a large pool of blood in the dirt beneath the cobblestone floor of Lorenzo's garage. Prosecutor Anthony Porcelli said he'll seek the maximum sentence of 200 years in prison for Lorenzo. On the federal convictions, he'll be sentenced January 27th. Schweikert will face a federal trial later on. 200 years in jail. Enjoy every minute of it. And, of course, on the inside, just like Jeffrey Dahmer. See, they have a habit on when you get on the inside, like, what was his name? Father, the one that got murdered in jail. The child molester from the Catholic Church. Father Shandler, whatever his name was.
That guy.
What was Gagan? Father Gagan. See, I remember that part, and I remember Father Gagan. No, seriously, don't you do word association at times? Even the young people do that.
Sure. Yeah.
Word association, just like that movie. What was it again? Team America. World Police. I can't believe that. Well, anyway. 147 votes. The most traumatic time in South Florida was, you fill in the blank. I don't really care about your votes on there, which one it is. Although the 2000 Cheney had election, you want to know why that's, although Wilma, is more recent, but, well, for whatever reason they're voting for that. Because what was Alien? What year was that?
That maybe 93.
I have to Google this?
I'll Google it.
I'm Googling it. Let me Google it. I like Googling it. The Alien case, okay? The online news hour. Alien Gonzalez, 2000.
See?
Alien Gonzalez returns to Cuba after the Supreme Court turns down a last-minute appeal to keep him in the U.S. June 28, 2000. So 2000, you talk about a traumatic year. That's the year of the hanging Chad election, just months later, after we tried to recover from the embarrassment and humiliation of a bunch of screaming lunatics interfering in a child custody case, which was nobody's business, including a lot of grandstanders like Andy Garcia and your favorite, what's her name, the great songstress, the great Cuban songstress. What the hell's her name, that bitch? Gloria Estefan. Hey, how's that voter coming out there, Gloria? Oh, that's right, it was the other guy's fault. And speaking of that last story from Tampa, just to show that it's not only Tampa, a Crystal Lake Middle School geography teacher faces new charges after a third student came forward accusing him of sexual assault. Here's what detectives from the BSO are saying, says the Sun Sentinel, about the latest and previous assaults involving Adrian Valdez, 29 of Deerfield Beach. I wonder if he's kin to Juan Valdez. Maybe he just invited these guys over for coffee. Valdez was charged Thursday with additional counts of sexual battery, exposure of sexual organs, and lewd and lascivious molestation for an assault on August 28, 2005, when Valdez drove one of his 14-year-old students to his house and committed a sexual offense. One of his male 14-year-old students. I just have to clarify there so you know where we're going with this.
Okay.
Well, you do care about that. BSO sex crime detective first arrested Valdez October 21st for an assault upon a 12-year-old boy. Publicity from that arrest prompted a 14-year-old boy to say that he, too, was victimized by Valdez. Now another 14-year-old's come forward. This is starting to sound like the Catholic Church scandal and Father Gun.
It's a pile-on.
Yeah, that's what they were doing. Each one of three separate assaults on different boys has been strikingly similar. In each case, Valdez offered his students rides home, candied little boy, and took them to his house, showed them pornographic videotapes, led them into his bedroom, and committed identical sex acts in the same location within the room, although here it doesn't say what they were, and, of course, inquiring minds want to know. In addition, authorities in Orangeburg, South Carolina have reopened an investigation into allegations that Valdez victimized a 16-year-old boy they had been mentoring in 2002. That word mentoring, really, I get nervous when I hear that word. Mentoring? You know what I mean?
Like
when
you're
I hear
mentoring
that?
George, no?
Yeah. Valdez is still being held without bond in the BSO main jail. Any other children who may have been victimized by Valdez urged to contact BSO detectives, says the Slum Sentinel. 5670560, pound 560. Maybe these people have some other traumatic South Florida episodes that are even more important than the ones we got, but I seriously doubt it. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
One thing, let me turn on my radio here. In regard to the Michael Mayo thing about taking $1 off your FPL bill,
Yeah.
He's doing a great job of lining the pockets of FPL because they're going to charge you 4.5% on that dollar, so they're going to get back their $1.05.
Yeah, well,
so,
his intentions are good, but the whole concept is just stupid. You know, he's just farting into a windstorm. That's all.
Right.
Hold
it's
the mail.
absolutely flawed. And in closing, FPL, me.
That was great. That was a beautiful job, sir. It sure did, and a lot of other people, too. I'll tell you one thing. We don't mess around the edges of it on this show. We're not like pussyfooting around. I'd come right out and tell you FPL blows, okay? They should only rot in hell. Not the poor guys out there that work, including a lot of Hydro Ontario workers from here that went down there and helped get your power back on, too, by the way, eh? Good Canadian boys. But nevertheless, the corporate FPL, the executives, including that one guy up there with his big generator, you should only rot in hell. There's a special place in hell for FPL. Now, what does this say? PETA, people eating tasty animals. That's cute. I like that.
Yep.
It says there's plenty of room for God's animals right next to the mashed potatoes. That's good. Although, guess what's coming up in a couple of weeks?
What's that?
Come on. What holiday?
Oh, Thanksgiving.
There. We already had our Thanksgiving early October here. We're way ahead of you guys. Well, that's because it's always good to eat the birds early before they get that avian flu, man. But with that bird flu, I just see they had 2 flamingos somewhere over there in the Middle East that had one of them had the killer virus, the bird flu. So when you sit down to eat your Thanksgiving dinner this year, even all you Orthodox Jews out there might want to kind of look the other way for one day. Maybe a nice ham would be good, right? What's the other alternatives that people eat? Isn't it just basically either turkey or ham on Thanksgiving? There's nothing else.
Yeah, pretty much.
So nice ham, maybe with some pineapple glaze on it, you know, would be good.
Honey baked ham.
Honey, ooh, that's good. Get the honey baked, Junior, as opposed to that turkey, because God only knows. See, I think really, if they want to solve the problem, they should kill all the birds, and then we might be safe. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Get rid of this bird flu. Just kill all the birds. Don't pick and choose. Now, Jane sent that fax again, and I can read it perfectly, but it's like I said, Jane, thank you.
Yeah.
It's long and ponderous. Now, what does this say? I told them this, but it will not happen, but the message is important. What is this about?
ARL.
Huh?
ARL?
Yeah. The idea would be for me to come to the studio for a 5 to 10 minute interview? No. Not going to happen, Troy. No, not going to hapen, okay? We don't. Our airtime is very valuable, and we'll do whatever we want for our good friends out there in Radio Land, but that is not going to happen, Troy. Even if Troy went and sent me a whole dozen bottles of that fantastic Dial body wash that he was recommending, the lavender, the pink kind, whatever it was. Sorry, Troy, that ain't going to happen, which he already knows. No, that will not happen. The most traumatic time in South Florida, the hanging chad election in 42. We got 158 votes. What is that? Let's do the math, okay? 616 and 158. This sounds awful silly, doesn't it? But I don't care. I have a fetish about it, in case you haven't noticed. 774. That means we need a mere 226 by 2 o'clock to get to our 1,000 for the day on our combined polls about body wash and South Florida trauma. In fact, I would think a lot of guys out there, that might be another choice on the poll. The day they drop the soap would be traumatic. That's what turned Miguel around, so to speak.
This is Neil Rogers. This
Rectum.
is 560 QAM.
This is Mohammed David, and this portion of the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour is brought to you by the letter 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 slices of pizza. All for me.
Rectum? Hell, it damn near killed him.
You fairy.
2004 sure sucked. Next year we'll have more luck. I can see it now. I bet they'll cure Mad Cow. Might even find a cure for that guy Michael Moore. When you fill your SUV, that gas will all be free. Even when Bush cuts our taxes, deficits will still go down. Dan Rather will not use faxes. Osama will be found. I know there will be peace throughout the Middle East. All kids will graduate and Queer Eyes will be so straight. Please let it be a great year. I sure hate it this year. Don't need wars or elections and no more flu infections. TV will be cleaner and Star Jones will be leaner. Let's all look on the bright side in 2005.
Top note at QAM, we got Mo Meister at 2, Mad Dog at 4 from Hooters and Pembroke Pines. Panthers preview at 7. Geldy, speaking of that, with the Panther Carolina Hurricanes game from the Mac Arena 7:30 and the Ancient Ed Kaplan show after the hockey game. Should be a damn good game. You want to see a really exciting team, a surprise, shocking team, Carolina. Nothing could be finer than to beat the crap out of Carolina, but I wouldn't hold my breath. The Canes are hot as hell, and we're not talking about UM either. Quit picking on UM, will you? By the way, Miguel, Donna Shillelagh's pissed off.
Adam, me.
Oh, and speaking of people being pissed off, I finally figured out why Adam is leaving.
Why?
And that was because Josh Cordes is responsible for Adam Tharan leaving QAM. Did you realize that?
That went through my head.
Yeah. It was your outing him on that situation with the Emerald Coast about that dessert situation, and you go in there and it was the weekend thing. And it was, I think that's what put him over the edge, even though he did come in and suck around heavy duty because Adam and I always got along great, and George. But I think you pushed him out the door.
Sorry, Adam, just telling the truth.
You best.
Oh, man, you are unrepentant, as they say, whatever that means. You're just unapologetic and just lay it right out there. Just like saying Mike Berardino's a jackass. I don't even know the guy. But he is, look, one thing to be honest, and there are plenty of problems with the Marlins and all the other sports franchises in South Florida, but the biggest problem is that most people don't give a crap about anything except football. But other than that, and I'm a hard ass when it comes to all of those guys, but John Henry was a piece of crap compared to these guys.
Very true.
These guys at least have made an effort to go out and put a winner on the field.
And they've won.
And they have won. They won a world championship even after John Henry. How do you like that?
I think Berardino wants us to be the Yankees or something.
Well, then let him go to New York. Let maybe Boog Shabby will put him in a suitcase with him and Dan LeBastard and take the Ganser Mishpoch up to New York when he goes to the Mets games. These negative people, and far be it from me to comment about the choice of losers Hank's got on there in the morning with him like Ira Winbag. Oh, God. I'd rather have Ira Winbag on nonstop, even during baseball season, than Mike Berardino. Too negative to be coming to Marlins. No wonder the team hates you like poison. Didn't the Humpers say that? They hate him. He actually said that, even about one of his good close buddies. See, that's the problem. Hank can't separate personal from business, like Dave Joseph. Oh, I like Dave, he says. I don't care if you like Dave. Okay, that's fine. Maybe the guys are doing something. I don't know, but whatever. Have a good time. But as far as business, my God, sour, negative. I don't think he's ever written a positive word about anything in his life, Dave Joseph. WQAM negative line. Hello.
Hey, good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi. Have you ever gave consideration of putting Jim DeFeeti behind your beaded curtain wearing nothing more than a banana hammock?
Oh, that's pornographic, baby. That we'd all go to jail for. He is just, even with all his clothes on, that's pornographic. How can that guy be on Channel 4? Didn't we actually, is that a regular segment now, or was that just a one-time deal? Do we know?
We don't know.
How can that creature be on there? Here's a fax that says if you want to put a glitch in FPL's billing system, here we go, right, okay, whatever you say. Yeah. Good luck to you. All these people that want to play games, you go ahead and you play your games, and when they shut your power off, and you go, meh, like that, then don't come crying to us, okay? FPL don't want no game players out there. There's only one thing they want, and that's your money, and plenty of it. Lots of it. 20.6% increase, just raping the public after doing a horrendous pee-poor job after Wilma. Pathetic. Scientists uncover protein's weight loss secrets. See, I'm one of those people who believes in the Atkins, even though I can't stay on it because I know it works in spite of all, the fact he fell down on the sidewalk and he died and he got all bloated up and he was so fat when he died. He was fat because he had a thing. And when you have a thing, sometimes it makes you fat, like a salami sandwich. But seriously, the Atkins works like a miracle for your blood cholesterol and your triglycerides, all your things, and your weight. And even if you don't lose weight, it's much better for you because refined carbohydrates are what's killing everybody. I did have a pint of Haagen-Dazs Banana Nut yesterday, and I liked it. Not apologizing for it. I liked it. I enjoyed it tremendously.
I apologize.
No, I don't apologize any more than you apologize to Adam for getting him to leave. I'm not apologizing for enjoying my Haagen-Dazs. When you get to be an old fart like me, how long you got left anyway, right? Might as well enjoy it. As long as you can keep your sugar under control, take an extra pill here or there or whatever. Maybe a shot of insulin, stick a little needle in your
rectum,
whatever you happen to be doing.
Well,
I'm not recommending.
Don't stop there. Go nuts. Eat some bread, some pasta.
No, I don't. But I don't like bread. I mean, I like it okay, but it's not something I'm not jonesing for bread.
Not like bread. I love bread.
If I never had bread again in my life, will you listen to me? If I never had bread again, I could live without it.
Wow.
The only thing is, if I go to a nice Italian restaurant and they bring nice warm bread, with like some garlic butter.
Yeah.
Man. And the fact that they put it there, I eat it. If they wouldn't put it there, I wouldn't ask for it. And what was the other thing you said? Pasta? I do love pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Man, do I love my pasta. I'm going to Italy right now. I'll see you. I'm going to Rome.
Come on.
Anybody that tells you that anybody can make Italian food like they do in Rome, they're a liar. Liar. Full of crap. I don't even care if they're from Italy. The food in Rome is so good. It's spellbinding. That's how good it is. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, everybody I know got their power back within 3 or 4 days.
No.
So why giving FPL such a hard time?
FPL, well, you work for FPL?
No, they work for me.
Yeah, okay, I'm happy for you. Okay, get lost, loser. Everybody he knows got the power back within 3 or 4 days. He must not know any of the people I know.
Well, he just said the FPL people work for him, so the people he knows are the FPL employees who got their power back before they helped anybody else.
Loser, we hate you. We want you to die. Why are we giving him such a hard time? Because it's the honest show, okay? Because we tell you the truth. Because you guys suck. That's why. In fact, I got a story here that it's way down in my pile, but you know what? Here it is right here. Lake Worth, 18 days. The number is imprinted on Katrina Valdez's brain. 18 days of cold showers, of stuffy days without air conditioning, of a noisy, noxious generator shattering the nighttime calm. Welcome to Barton Court, a working-class enclave on a quiet cul-de-sac in Lake Worth, among the last neighborhoods in Palm Beach County without power after Hurricane Wilma. 18 days later, and they're still powerless. The 4 duplexes on the north side of the street had electricity restored October 29. The 4 on the south side remain powerless, eerily shadowed at night by a street lamp burning bright over broken tree limbs and an abandoned washer. Southern residents say they don't resent their neighbors, all the while gazing longingly at their porch lights. I don't know anybody without power except these few houses right here, Valdez said. You drive around and this crap about within 3 days they had the power back on. How many days were we reading about the hundreds of thousands of people without power in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach? How many days were there?
About 30, man.
Damn near. Weeks. 2 weeks we're talking, baby. In fact, now we're closing in on 3 weeks from Wilma, which was 2.5 weeks ago. The 4 duplexes on the north side, I got through reading that. In the rush to restore electricity in Palm Beach County, a handful of homes and businesses have been skipped either because the buildings sustained more damage than their neighbors or, in the case of Barton Court, bad luck. Lake Worth officials said yesterday that fewer than 100 of the 26,000 homes serviced by Lake Worth utilities have yet to regain power. That ain't even an FPL. Another 100 residences out of the 663,000 served by FPL in the county remain dark. FPL, Florida Plunder and Loot, incompetent, liars, polls were cracking, breaking, had all those warnings. The Sun Sentinel had a good story on that we read. We don't know nothing about no poll. It wasn't the polls. Yeah, okay, whatever you say. It was probably the Russians, not the polls. The power outages in Lake Worth are not concentrated, city officials said. Rather, most are single-family dwellings, such as Valdez's. Poor Karina Valdez. In fact, maybe the last guy, if he got FPL all works for him, send him over there to Lake Worth, okay, and get their damn power back on, loser. Liar. Phony baloney. Good call, though. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Yes. Speak with
Yes, sir.
Neil, please.
Yes, sir. Do you work for FPL?
No, I do not.
Good, thank God. Go ahead, because if you said yes, I'd hang up on you. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Speak to me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Neil. I didn't know it was you.
Don't be sorry.
Hey,
As soon as you
Neil,
heard me screaming, though, you knew it was me, though, right? As soon as I started bitching out, you knew it was me.
Listen, since you playing old bits, can you play Jimmy and Danny and Jimmy?
Absolutely, sir. You got it.
And in closing, Ricky and Ronnie and Ricky.
All right. Boy, they're going to get walloped on Sunday, man. The Patriots are going to kick their ass. And if they don't, then I'll be upset. I expected the Patriots to get walloped by Indianapolis, and they did. That was no surprise to me.
And how many points you guys going to give up this week, though?
About 30.
About 30, man.
And we'll score about 70.
I tell you what, if the Dolphins throw up 30 on you, you might as well cash it in.
The Dolphins aren't going to score 30 points. The Dolphins couldn't score 30 points in 2 weeks, okay, against even semi-real teams, no matter how banged up and injured they are.
I'm just letting you know.
Tommy Brady's going to pick that secondary apart like heart surgery. Speaking of health, I started to read this, and then we got to that FPL guy. He was very good. Everybody I know had their power back in 3 days. They work for me. Yeah, right. You know what that is? You know what that means? That's a stockholder. He's got a lot of FPL stock. I hope your stock goes down to has a minus in front of the number. Minus infinity. Hope your stock is worth the paper that Miguel is putting on the toilet seat in the tea room. In fact, even the paper is more valuable. He says because it keeps the germs off his ass.
Yes.
A study of protein-munching rats, speaking of that, shows that a low-carb diet sparks a chain of biological events that ultimately curbs hunger. I'm going to have me a bratwurst for lunch. This inspired me. And no ice cream today, no carbs. The French researchers explain it this way. Protein, the staple of such weight loss regimens, appears to increase glucose production in the small intestine, the rise of which is monitored by the liver and then registered by the brain. In turn, the brain sends out an all-full message, cutting back on the drive to eat more. And like I told you before the show today, whoever had a big cheeseburger and said, oh, God, I had to have another big cheeseburger.
Josh.
Well, the only reason that would happen is because you're eating the bun. See, if you eat the cheeseburger with a bun, then the carbs in the bun are what's going to make you hungry. Or if you're eating the fries will, set you loose. The current findings provide an answer to the question of how protein-enriched meals decrease hunger and reduce eating, unresolved up until right now, as the study authors said. The Institut National de la Santé something in Lyon, France. Oh, these names. The novel understanding of the effect of diet protein will open new gates in the elaboration of future medical treatments of obesity. The researchers fed one group of rats a 50% protein diet enriched with soya protein and casein, fat. Another group ate a starch-enriched diet that contained just 17% protein. Reporting in the November issue of Cell Metabolism, oh, that's my favorite magazine, the French team found that by the end of just 1 week, rats on the protein-rich regimen had consumed 15% less food than those in the starch diet group. The protein diet rats also gained significantly less weight over the course of the week than the starch diet rats, the study found, and it wasn't that the rats on the protein-rich diet didn't like what they were eating, since the researchers had made sure to include foods the rodents loved. A more complex explanation for the protein-linked weight loss was revealed through blood tests. They showed the two genes specifically involved in the intestinal glucose production were much more active in the protein diet group compared with the starch diet group. Quit with the starch, okay, with the corn and the beans, man. Toss the beans, believe me when I tell you. Toss those damn beans, especially those mushy refried beans. When in doubt, toss them out, along with that bar of soap. I see a good comparison there, man. That's why you see all them fat, pudgy Mexicans, because even though they are schleppers, most of them, and you think, boy, these people ought to be anorexic looking, like Karen Carpenter. Just au contraire, man. They're pudgy and chubby, and the reason why, because they eat all them sloppy, refried beans. Don't they?
Guacamole.
And guacamole. Also moosh. Just moosh. Too much moosh, man.
I don't mind
What do we got on the poll? How are we doing here? 210. I might not even read the result of what it says. I just want numbers. Oh. We just want numbers, okay? Joel Feinberg wants numbers, but he don't have them. That's the problem over there. Wait till I tell you about that whole thing in Emerald Hills, too. 826 votes. You realize this? We're going to have the 1,000 without even, like, pushing and getting all psychotic?
Fantastic.
But that's two different polls, see?
Now, does that mean we're back as far as the poll?
I didn't know we were gone. Well, as far as the poll is concerned, you mean as far as the audience is concerned? I'm thinking that a lot of people are still, trying to put their lives together, because I talk to people who are still, got the adjuster is coming, and the roofer is coming, and the screening guy is coming, and the fence people, all these things, and the tree trimming guy, all of these things. Wouldn't you think?
I would think.
Not that people aren't listening, like in their car radios or their transistor sister, wherever they're hanging it out, but in the meantime, they're like trying to put their lives back together again. So we give you people a free pass until Thanksgiving anyway. Then there'll be no more excuses. And Thanksgiving, unless, of course, you die from eating one of those avian bird turkeys. What? I don't know what you're laughing about. The poultry situation in Europe now, they're like banning poultry from certain places, and people are starting to get really nervous about them chickens. They're killing them. And they ought to be nervous about the chickens right in the U.S. anyway. All those poor chickens they can't even scratch it. You know, they're like all, what do they call those? Get you some kosher chicken, okay? Those will really be good for you, that kosher chicken. The one where the rabbi sucks the blood right out of the damn animal before they wrap it up and make it kosher for Pesach. Isn't that what they do? Isn't that how they kosher it? 1214 at 560 WQAM. When you're shopping for shoes, comfort, fit, and value. Those are the three main ingredients that just about everybody wants, and that's why smart people take their feet to Brandy shoes for the most comfortable fit in your favorite style of shoes. And we're talking to top major brands like Rockport, Echo, Florsheim, Mephisto, New Balance, SAS, all the top names in the shoe business that people love that make quality. And Brandy's professional shoe fitters will make sure you have a customized fit of that favorite comfort shoe every time. Just ask for Arnie. He'll take care of you. And chances are that you'll never hear, oh, sorry, we don't have that style in your size, because they've got such a humongous selection there that they just about guaranteed. You can bet Fat Boy's life on it, that whatever style suits your fancy, your size is on the shelf right now, ready to slap on your fat tootsies. The pros at Brandy's understand fit and comfort. They specialize in wide widths as well, and Brandy's is well worth the trip from just about anywhere in town. Don't forget now, for comfort, style, fit, value, and selection, it's always Brandy's shoes, and you'll find them at 1290 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach, open daily Monday through Saturday till 9, and Sundays 9 to 5. And all this week at Brandy's, it's the After Wilma sale. Men's Pro Walkers only $44.90. Men's Sperry Topsiders AOS $44.90. And Men's World Tour just $69.90. So be sure and get your fat ass into Brandy's this week, or do your shoe shopping on their website at brandysshoes.com.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
And Danny, Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy, Jimmy and Danny.
Jimmy and Danny.
Danny and Jimmy.
Jimmy and Danny.
Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy. Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Danny. We have a mobile from Miramar. Hello?
Oh, yeah, can you hear me okay? I got a question about
Go ahead.
Jimmy and Danny situation.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy and Danny.
Jimmy and Danny.
Jimmy and Danny. David Woodley. Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. We'll be back with more about Jimmy and Danny after this word from Ballyawam's Apartments, where every apartment comes with its own Frigidaire.
That caller had a good idea, by the way. Ricky and Ronnie and Ricky. That'd be a good one. It'd be okay. 240 votes. The most traumatic time in South Florida was the 2000 hanging Chad election, 63. And what about all those empty seats, like I said, Hank, at the Dolphin game, huh? What do the Marlins? I guarantee the Marlins, percentage-wise, did better than the Dolphins the last couple of weeks. Oh, but we had a hurricane. Yeah, always a good excuse. In fact, didn't the Dolphins play that Kansas City game on a Friday night and get their ass kicked? And they were thousands of empty seats. And the hurricane didn't hit till Monday.
Yes. Well, they had to prepare.
They were preparing not to be there, right? 2000 hanging Chad, 63 votes. Hurricane Andrew, 55. Mariel Boatlift, 42. How fast they forget. First wave of Cuban immigration, 29. Hurricane Wilma, 25. Alien Saga, 14. Solamente 14. And the McDuffie riots, 13, 240. So what does that give us now, 240, beside a bad headache? Along with a body wash poll, which I'm really distraught over that. 856. How do you like those apples? How we still got an hour and 40 minutes to go, but who's counting? We're going to go way over 1,000 votes today on these polls. And people will be... Joel Feinberg will be throwing furniture all over the place there at the other place across the street, won't he?
Yeah, he will.
So who do we talk to over there? Stu Gotts? No, he wouldn't be the leaker. He's Mr. Big Shot over there. Probably Zach.
Right.
Zach is one of the moles. Well, we don't want to get Zach in trouble again, although maybe he can come back and produce... Once Roberts had enough of the Mo-Meister, maybe he can mend his ways with Zach. What do you think?
No.
Not. See, if Zach was still around, probably Mo wouldn't have been able to steal all that pizza that day, because Zach would have scoffed it up. Not that Mo stole any pizza that didn't belong to him, anything like that. Oh, since it is Veterans Day, there's your president.
Government under the new Constitution.
Our new Constitution. He's not talking about Iraq. He's talking about the new American Constitution that eliminates the Bill of Rights, and the Patriot Act is all we need to know, he said. So speaking of being Veterans Day, more than a year ago, Congress passed a law giving extra college money to as many as 175,000 veterans of Iraq, Afghanistan, other actions in the war on terrorism, specifically targeting activated members of the Reserves and National Guard. The benefit is worth as much as $827 a month. But as the second Veterans Day goes by, not a single check has been mailed, and most reservists haven't even applied for it because the program remains in bureaucratic limbo. They're doing the limbo rock. The Department of Defense is still creating a database of eligible veterans that the Department of Veterans Affairs needs to process before benefit applications. Those who are eligible haven't been told they qualify. Once processing begins, student veterans who've been called to active duty since the 9/11 terrorist attacks will be entitled to lump sum retroactive payments, some worth thousands of dollars. You should live so long. Officials at both departments hope that at least some checks will be mailed before the end of this year, but acknowledge that they've missed previous target dates. They were a little slow. Kind of like Florida Plunder and Loot, a little slow. Students such as Gabriel Medina, 23, a history and political science major at the University of California, Riverside, will spend another Veterans Day waiting as he struggles to pay for tuition, housing, and other expenses. Trust me, this would make a big difference, he said, a Marine Corps reservist who spent nearly 2 years on active duty beginning in January 2002, including a tour in Iraq. He's a full-time student, works 2 jobs, receives grants and taken out student loans. He's off tourist, baby, and he's still waiting. Don't hold your breath, sweetheart. Where's that suicide story? Now, did you see this? I mean, I don't want to make fun of people that committed suicide, but
go on. Easy to.
Click on the CNN website. And the headline, I think didn't I put this on our website today, online news group, help daughter commit suicide, parents say? Did we put that on there or not?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, so all you got to do is go to our website and click that, and then go back to the original link. And if the picture shows up on the story, which I got it here, of Suzanne Gonzalez. Now, does it say in the story where she's from? Because it says she was in college in Florida, but I don't find anywhere in the story anything. I don't see anywhere here. But if you see now, she was just making a goofy face, obviously, but it's, did you see the self-portrait photograph there of Suzanne?
What's the headline?
Parents, online news group, help daughter commit suicide. She's got a strange, let's put it this way, be diplomatic, she's got a strange look on her face. Anyway, the story goes like this. Suzanne Gonzalez seemed to have everything going for her, a bubbly 19-year-old with loving parents and good friends. She was also a strong student, earned a science scholarship for college. But everything changed one spring day 2 years ago when Suzanne's parents, Mike and Mary Gonzalez, received the following email. Dear Mom, Dad, and Jennifer, I'll make this short as I know it'll be hard to deal with. If you haven't heard by now, I've passed away, the email read. Alone in a Florida hotel room, well, that alone should make you want to blow your brains out. Just miles from her college apartment, Suzanne methodically prepared and swallowed a lethal cocktail of potassium cyanide, lay down on the bed, and died of it. In doing so, she joined the roughly 4,000 people between the ages of 15 and 24 who commit suicide each year, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Did you see the picture yet of Suzanne?
I don't think that. Maybe it was like today's story. I could just go to CNN, but
go to CNN. Go wherever you want. Anyway, can I get back to the story? I want you to look at it. Now, again, she's making a face. She's posing, obviously, for a silly picture, but anyway, maybe that was the problem. It says Suzanne's case has an unusual twist. She frequented an internet news group called ASH, short for alt.suicide.holiday. Members of this news group trade advice on how to commit suicide using code words like transitioning and exiting and catching the bus. Boy, don't let our sales department find that website. Suzanne found this group 9 weeks before she died, posting nearly 100 messages detailing her plans. My chosen method is potassium cyanide. I've stopped eating so my tummy will be nice and acidic, one of Suzanne's posts read. It'll be nice and Hasidic. Suzanne's father claims the news group gave her everything she needed to kill herself. The knowledge, the tools, their psychological encouragement. She was led to her death, Mike Gonzalez said. Well, I sure hope that's not the Mike Gonzalez from the racetrack. I'm sure it's not. News groups like ASH work something like an online bulletin board. Anyone with a computer and some basic internet knowledge can gain free access to thousands of messages about suicide, and they can post their own messages.
Oh, boy.
Did you find it yet?
Yeah, it looks a little Clockwork Orange to me or something.
Exactly.
Now, you're not making fun of a young girl that committed suicide, are you?
Yeah, I am.
Oh. News groups, I just got through saying, an archive section of the site called the Methods File contains a list of recipes, recommendations, and tips on the best and worst ways to commit suicide. You know, see, call me strange, but I think if somebody wants to commit suicide, they're entitled to. I know, call me Dr. Jack or whatever, but that's just the way it is. The fact that the government, it's against the law, you can't, well, screw you, you know. Just leave me alone while I blow my brains out. That's it. Suzanne's dad believes one of those messages taught her how to illegally obtain and use cyanide to end her life. And he was horrified to learn that an older ASH member who goes by the alias River may have helped her. I wonder if that was River Phoenix. Susie had me proofread her notes, and we went all over the details of her exit just to be safe, reads one ASH message from River. What an ASH. Loch. But River disputes his role in Suzanne's death. No one in ASH encourages anyone to commit suicide. ASH is pro-choice, he wrote an email to CNN. Gio is another ASH member. He was the same age as Suzanne when he joined the group last year. Thinks suicide groups like ASH actually keep people from committing suicide. In fact, Gio credits ASH with saving his life. If it weren't for this, I think the chances of me having committed suicide would have been greater, he said. Having a place where you can write those thoughts, get them out of your system, can be very therapeutic. But Suzanne's dad thinks otherwise. That's not pro-choice, Mike Gonzalez said of the site. That's brainwashing, and they're not being held responsible. And let's fry their ass. Let's kill them. Let's not help them commit suicide. Just like all those executives from FP&L.
This is
Neil Rogers.
This is 560 QAM.
Again, Bob, douche when you're done.
Inet Power Company,
You put the futility in utility. Florida Paradise and Life. There isn't a hurricane that blows as much as you. When a storm threatens, we can count on you to turn our power off long before it gets here, leaving the rest of us to marvel at the blue glow of exploding transformers, providing us a historical perspective of 1957 technology. And in the moist heat of tropical darkness, the weakening batteries in our radios broadcast your latest press release for South Florida that says your trucks and crews are ready to roll from the Alabama state border. And the question in everyone's mind is, So as we search for the appropriate answer to how many FPL emergency crews does it take to change a light bulb, Florida Paradise and Life, this bird's for you.
Net Power Company, Monho.
Prop 32 at QAM, 20.6% increase, and that's only the beginning, they said. They still have to assess Wilma and Katrina and Shirley and Sally and everybody else. Bad news for you, though, all you sports nerds out there, including you guys. What's his name? Steve Corson's dead. Did you see this?
Yes.
Well, how come you weren't talking about it before? You should have, interrupted me right off the bat.
Sorry.
Josh, see this?
No.
Josh would know Steve Corson from Steve, how?
From Matt Manti.
From Matt, very good. Matt Manti. I don't care what you say. You check the records on it. Matt Manti was very popular for a little while in the bullpen for the Marlins, and they were going to have a Matt Manti night, and they traded him like either on the day of the, on the day of his daughter's wedding.
And we waited to give away that stuff a couple of years after he left.
Is that true?
That's true.
Well, see?
You kidding me? We still give away Charlie Huff bobbleheads because we got so many.
Hey, don't be knocking old knuckleballer Charlie Huff. I was there on that opening day when Charlie Huff pitched, and that game was about 7 hours because he was so old and slow. He had his moments or two. Yeah. That was back when the team was kind of like wanted to be the old Mets, kind of a joke, like, aren't they funny? They really suck. And then all of a sudden, when they realized that even if they put 80 Julios on the team, nobody was going to come out unless they won some games. See, that was the thing in the beginning. That's why they had Mortestes, Destrada. Who were some of those losers they had in the beginning on the team? Some of those Julios they wanted to load the team up with.
Alex Fernandez?
Well, he wasn't a loser, but it was just that he was highly touted. Oh, right. And Alex Fernandez got traded to the Marlins. Thousands of extra people per game are going to show up, which they did not, even on the day he pitched. And number two, he had a bum arm in the first place.
It's like
plus the fact that he weighed 600 pounds didn't help Alex a bit. What?
I was going to say it's like the idea that if they built a stadium down near the Orange Bowl, all the Spanish people would go.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with that.
Right, not going to happen.
I do.
Will not happen. Because even they're not dumb enough to want to go to the Orange Bowl.
No.
One thing to want to go to the toilet bowl, we all have to do that, and even if we don't put our toilet paper on the seat. But going to the Orange Bowl, that's another story. That place is a dump. It is a toilet. In fact, when you go to the Orange Bowl, you are going to the toilet bowl. Man, talk about... I bet you anything that the Prep H people are involved in a whole scam to keep that place going. Talk about a hemorrhoid-inducing palace. That's it. Oh, yeah, and I've been there. I know what I'm talking... I'm not just talking through my ass, okay? Steve Corson, he's dead. And what a way to die. Former offensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers who developed a heart problem after becoming one of the first NFL players to acknowledge using steroids, killed yesterday when a tree he was cutting fell on him. Corson, 50, was using, not related to Shane Corson, not spelled the same, who hightailed off the Maple Leaf squad 2 years ago. Loser. Corson, 50, was using a chainsaw to cut down a dead 44-foot-tall tree with a circumference of 5 feet when it fell on him, state police said. The accident happened around 1 Thursday, yesterday, at his home in Henry Clay Township, Fayette County, in Pennsylvania. Roger Victor, an investigator for the Fayette County coroner, said Corson was apparently trying to get his dog out of the tree's way. The wind was blowing, the tree snapped, and it fell on him and his dog. The dog was injured, taken to a vet, but Corson dead. Well, as long as the dog's okay. Pastor Lois Van Orden, who was with Corson's mother Elizabeth at her Gettysburg, Pennsylvania home, said the family had no immediate comment. Corson made the Steelers in '78 as a free agent guard from South Carolina. He started more than half the Steelers games before he was traded to Tampa Bay in '84. Well, that's why you're a Bucs fan. Now we're finally putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Josh lived in Tampa for 2 years. Probably went to all the Bucs games there on Dale Mabry.
I did, and
they're way stadium.
Their fans are way better than Dolphin fans. That's for damn sure.
And why do you say that? Because they show up?
Because they stunk for a long time.
Oh, hey, listen, I've said that many times. If the Miami Dolphins would have had the start that Tampa Bay did, what the hell was his name that started the franchise, the old coach from the West Coast? What was his name?
Who are you talking about, for the Bucs?
The Bucs. The old man from USC, or UCLA, wherever the hell he was from. Well, anyway, he's been dead a long time. But anyway, they were like 1-15 and 0-16. And Tampa, they kept supporting him just enough to keep the franchise going. And then they finally win the Super Bowl here.
That's right.
But there's no question, I've said that many a time, if the Dolphins would have been as lousy as they were, forget about it. There'd be no Miami Dolphins. They'd be like in Ishpeming, Michigan or somewhere. And by the way, L.A.'s getting a football team back, NFL. I thought I'd just mention that since we got this very sad story.
Another expansion team?
He ended his career, Corson did, how the hell do I know, after the 85 season, having played on the Steelers Super Bowl championship teams in 78 and 79. Now, I think maybe the Dolphins are moving to L.A. because with that lousy attendance, all those no-shows the last 2 weeks, including the game before the hurricane hit. Corson was an early outspoken opponent of steroid use in the NFL, though he had used them himself and blamed them on a heart condition. He said placed him on a transplant list for 4 years. He credited diet and exercise with reversing the condition. So here's a guy who made a tremendous comeback and reversed all those physical problems and gets killed by a tree. I'll tell you, man, that God sure is sneaky. You know, when you least expect it, he sneaks up right behind you and bada bing like that.
Hell of a sense of humor.
Yeah, he works in mysterious and devious ways, kind of like your fat-ass governor with his devious plans. Loser. Anyway, Corson went public about his steroid use in '85, was cut by Tampa Bay the next season. Also, he criticized the NFL steroid testing program, which began a year after he retired. It's as much drug use to take steroids as heroin or cocaine, he said in 1990. When most people imagine drug abusers, their thoughts are of street people living in the gutter. Realistically, these people can't afford drugs, but professional athletes and middle-upper-class teenagers can. People like Barry Bonds. Corson, he's just smearing it, by the way. He's just smearing the cream. Corson testified about steroid use before Congress last spring. Earlier this year, Saints coach Jim Haslett claimed the Steelers' use of the drugs during the Super Bowl championship seasons in the 70s brought steroids into vogue around the NFL. Remember the Voogs? Even though star players such as Jack Lambert and Jack Ham were strongly opposed to drug use. To say that anabolic steroids didn't play a role in the Steelers' success would be a falsehood, Corson said in '90. But this isn't the Steelers' problem. It's a league-wide problem. Nobody ever told me not to use or take steroids or suggested I was killing myself. Corson was a native of Gettysburg and played from 73 to 77 in South Carolina, where he said he first used steroids at age 18. In recent years, he made as many as 100 speeches a year to youth and sports groups urging athletes not to use steroids. Don't do it, Sonny. Don't do it. You're a young man. You got your whole life ahead of you. As William Holden said about the George Washington Bridge, and that's the point that Josh fell asleep in the movie. 289 votes. Now, let me see. Did Miguel watch Network? Well, that's right. You hated it, too. We've already been through this.
Yes.
If you're under the age of 40, you won't like Network, okay? If you're a punk. 905 votes on the polls. How do you like that? Are you impressed or what? So, in other words, I don't want to get Eric nervous, but if we take like 10 different polls every day, we could have like 5,000.
Uh-oh.
See, the reason, you know the reason being that if you're the one who votes in the neighborhood thanks to AOL and all these other services, it blocks out everybody else. They can see the poll result, but they can't vote. Now, how is that possible? Well, why do they do that to people? I mean, is that because they don't have enough bandwidth? Well, what is their problem, Mr. Computer Expert?
I don't know.
Oh. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Josh. He's supposed to be the computer
He's the one who
maven.
said I don't know.
Oh, sounded like you. You see,
you sound like a spick now, man.
Just 2.5 hours, you're starting to sound like you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, just hang around with in fact, if Hank has Mike Berardino on this baseball season coming up, he'll be just as negative and sour as he is. I don't know if that's possible. I doubt that that's possible. You keep hanging around with Dave Joseph and Mike Berardino, Hank, and you're going to become an old sourpuss. 296, the most traumatic time in South Florida was. And we've been through several, especially recently, man. 2000, the hanging Chad election, where that judge has got his eye to the sky. It looks like his eye is going to, like, pop right out of his forehead. 78 say it was the hanging Chad election. Hurricane Andrew, 64. Mariel Boatler, 56. First wave of Cubans coming in 34 after Hyman Roth got upset. Hurricane Wilma, 32. McDuffie riot, 16. And the Alien saga is tied for last place, only 16. How do you like that? You see, the overwhelming majority of us, because the people that were whipped up into a frenzy about that were calling us and threatening us and getting psychotic, they ain't listening no more, and they weren't listening before. Right? You know that as well as I do. All of a sudden, those people jumped on the bandwagon and were calling our shows all day, every day. Like that. And probably Miguel was out there in the streets encouraging him.
This is Neil
You're probably
Rogers.
burning tires in the streets in Hialeah.
This is 560 QAM.
Have my junior, honey.
Okay.
Million rises in a tuba shore. He stirs up all the exiles, cause they have no life.
I have no life.
And he starts at the Cuban school today.
Increíble.
Ilion visits Disney. All right. He says he wants to stay. See him every day on TV as the Cubans clog the motorway. And he exhausts shoes and measures form to get their way. When the help said to send them back and the hush begun, we want it all to go away today.
Absolutely.
And we're tired of Elion, and we're tired of traffic jams, and we're tired of all this crap. We just want to live our lives, and we're tired of Elion, and we're tired of protests. We should send him back. Oh! To Washington and Corolla tags along. Another chance for publicity while the Julios shut Miami down. And Ilion wants to live with Mickey. Cuba far behind. They shower him with gifts and toys. While Miami slowly dying.
I'm dying over here.
In the exhaust shoes and there's a form to get their way. When the help said to send them back and the hush begun. ferry. And we're tired of Elion. And we're tired of traffic jams. And we're tired of all this crap. We just want to live our lives. And we're tired of Elion. And we're tired of protest. We should send him back. And we're tired of Elion. And we're tired of traffic jams. And we're tired of all this crap. We just want to live our lives. And we're tired of Elion. And we're tired
12:47. Let's go. Let's burn some tires in the streets in Hialeah on the weekend. What do you say, Miguel? Let's go out there just to show we're still PO'd.
Knock yourself out.
Okay. Have a good time. Got some exciting news. Forget about Elion and his little member and his abuelos and all that crap. And Nurse Greasy ass. And how's the fisherman doing? Is he still hanging out in the closet? Regis Philbin to host This Is Your Life. How do you like that? Poor, this Regis, man, it's just amazing. It's just, talk about resurrecting a dead career. Unbelievable, Regis.
It's big, Neil. It's bigger than both of them.
Yeah, I know. Regis Philbin returning to primetime, the Live with Regis and Kelly show host, and they're trying to shove him off that show, which he denies, but they're trying desperately to get him off the air, will helm the new version of This Is Your Life for ABC. The series is a new version of the 50s and 60s NBC original, created and hosted by Ralph Edwards, that each week surprised a guest with an often emotional recounting of his or her life, like Donna Shore, who passed out almost on the floor when they pointed out she was Jewish. My network needs me. I'm there, Philbin said in a statement. This Is Your Life was always one of my favorite shows, and how much are they paying? This Is Your Life, which ABC calls the original reality show, varied its subjects from celebrities to prominent business figures to regular folks. The format for the Philbin-hosted version hasn't been announced yet, nor has an air date. Philbin's 74, well, we know that. He did this, he did that. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Let's put it on 9 nights a week, man. Let's oversaturate the point where people are puking Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. When they, like, vomit and gag every time they see Regis. I like Regis a lot, but, you know what, don't you think enough is enough?
No.
When is enough enough? Huh?
We need more Reg.
Oh, and Dick Clark, by the way, is on the verge of death, but nobody's talking about it. Well, I'll guarantee you, when the day comes, we'll have Michael Moore dancing on his grave. That's when you'll feel like an earthquake. We don't usually have earthquakes in Florida, but that's when you'll feel it. Michael Moore will be bouncing up and we'll be right there with him, by the way, bouncing up and down on Dick's grave. 5670560, pound 560 in the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. Elion, man, Elianito, all that crap that people... And, of course, Miguel was on the wrong side of that, as usual. Just like he was on the wrong side of the whole Bush business until way too late, till the horse was out of the barn. You have to, like, emancipate yourself. Free your brain up a little bit, will you please? Think for yourself. Stop being just one of them. Whatever the category is one of them. Huh?
Who is them?
Well, whoever them are. In this particular case, those right-wing Cubanos who all think alike because, for whatever reason, because they've all been brainwashed. Because they refuse to deal with anybody to the left of Attila the Hun or Fulgencio Batista. That's why. Comunista, but we liked old Batista because he was a good fascista. That's what that's all about.
Bring him back.
They never met a fascist they didn't like. And I'll tell you one thing, Meyer Lansky, Hyman Roth liked him a lot because the casinos there were doing a big business.
Yep.
They were doing a thriving business. Unlike Florida, of course, which we can't even get the damn slot machines going because your fat-ass governor, well, bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop, and maybe in December we'll do this. Yeah. July 1st, they were supposed to have that thing all tied with a pink bow on it, with a pink loofah on it. But, oh, no, it's only the 11th of November. It's Veterans Day, 11th of November, and they're still dilly-dallying. And can you imagine the money that would be coming in every day? Remember one of the first things they talked about after Katrina in Biloxi was all the money they were losing from the casinos that got washed away, the ones that were offshore?
Yep.
And how much money they were losing, like $500 million a day revenue for the state? Every single day. And, of course, we know Florida's got so much money just laying around. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you know that story that you've been reading about Florida Power and Light about the poles being rotten?
Yeah.
2 years ago during a storm, I had a pole in the backyard break at the base, and they came and tied it up with ropes, and it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't get a hold of nobody. I've been trying to call people.
I think some of them ought to be tied up with ropes.
I think so, too, man. I mean, because I'm lucky that with this storm here, it didn't blow this pole down onto my house.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Good luck to you, Pally.
Thank you.
Sounds like a time to move is what it sounds like to me, plus that echo in the call. I think maybe he's underwater with the pole. Oh, but they had everybody back on. That guy that called before, if that isn't the guy that's got like $80 zillion of FPL stock, I don't know what it is, besides being a schmuck and a liar. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. QAM. Intellectual line, QAM, not there. That was going to be the good call. Did you hear the deep breath? Hello. Baby crying in the back. Maybe this is Alion's house. Maybe this is Maris Greasy-ass on the phone. Go have another one, honey. WQAM, hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
If you care about a crazy person, do you Baker act them? Or do you let them live a crazy life? Or do you make them live a drugged up life?
Now, which crazy person are we talking about now? Are you talking about our sales department again?
No, I'm talking about for instance, just an example, a family member.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Go see the other guy. Get some of that rope he's got laid around that the tree is the pole's tied up with, and just tie him up. Put him in the attic. 5670560. I told you the calls will be extra good today. It's Friday. We got Mo coming up at 2. These callers are going to... I'm sure that most of these calls are inspired by the show that follows us. Mad Dog at Hooters in Pembroke Pines at 4. And then we got the big Panther game. I'm serious. You ought to go... most people are like, Carolina, that's pretty boring. They're an exciting team. They're got a tremendous winning record. They're hotter than a pistola now, man. And this kid, Eric Stahl, there is a real player for you. He is dynamite. Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes, which ordinarily would suck, but that should be a really good game. And Eddie K, 85-year-old Ed Kaplan, comes in with his walker tonight right after the hockey game. WQAM, hello.
Hey, is this QAM?
This is WQAM. You got it, man.
Hey, man, I was sitting around, and have you heard this one? Standing on a ladder, hear something splatter, diarrhea.
Yeah, okay, great. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to let Neil know that if he didn't find the answer yet, the coach from UFC was John McKay.
John McKay. How could we forget him? He was about 800 years old, right?
Yeah, when he first said owner, I thought he was talking about Hugh Culverhouse, but I think
right.
he was
That's right.
about
He
the
was the
coach.
guy. And was that right? Weren't they like 0-15 or 1-10? Back then, I think they played 14 games. They were like 1-13, 0-14, right?
No, they went over 2 seasons. I think it was 0-26.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Bucks. They really suck, and they're still there, and they won a Super Bowl.
Who's that?
Just a guy. 5670560. See, he started the call. He said, Neil. I said, yeah. And then he, tell Neil, I don't know. I just don't get it. Sometimes I get weak. I want to fall on the floor, make a lot of mumbling sounds. I don't understand these people.
Can we tape it?
Yeah. I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Okay.
How's the votes coming, though? That's the good news. See, look on the bright side, like Monty and his Python said, like Eric and his Idol said. 339 vote. You add that to 616, and what do you got, Josh? 339 is 955.
We're on our way.
We're on our way to 1,100, if you ask me. Maybe God only knows. The sky's the limit, if you ask me. We might have 50 trillion votes. Kind of reminds me of the sales department on the spot. See, I don't get paid any more if they sell or not. It's just, they're just pathetic. Even Adam said that on his way out this morning. He may have to go to work for Cheap Chandler, one of those other outfits, because, quite frankly, when you got a sales manager like we got now. We used to have Screw Ann, and even though she was like a real Schmidt disturber and really had everybody always whipped up into a frenzy, she had that whip. She had that long whip, and, man, she would crack it. Am I right? You probably heard those sounds all over the building, her cracking it. Now, she wasn't nearly as effective as our old promotions assistant. What the hell was her name? I forgot already. Doreen. You're hoping I forgot it. Aren't you, Miguel? Doreen. I bet you haven't forgot. Doreen, the old promotions queen. Won't see her no more.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
Oh, boy. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Oh, what the heck?
Finally got a call here. The number one rated Mohammed and David in the show. At least according to my aspirations. Stay away from me. I don't even know how you have children. Miramar, hello.
Yes, I want to take on Jay Fiedler.
Oh, well, Jay Fiedler is a great quarterback and a good Jew.
I like Jay Fiedler.
Well, not to mention he's got extraordinarily smooth buttocks.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, but you gotta be careful what you say here.
Oh, keep up. Thank you, Mo.
No, wait a minute. Don't go.
But I have nothing else to say.
How about this? How's the weather down there in the Miramar?
I'm right down the street from you.
Yeah.
I have to go.
Oh, wait. By the way, something.
No, I have to go.
Look, I tell you what. I'll hold you over the break. How's that, huh? I'll give you one of my old tank T-shirts. How's that?
Bye.
No, wait. That was the only caller we had.
The veins on your nose is glowing again. Wow! You got big twinkle veins on your nose and on your face, and around those oozing pimples, you grow high. It's You go look in the mirror, you'll see a road map of Ypsilanti. You got your hippies on, way too tight.
My nose glows when something stings. Almost every day I sneeze. And my veins, they start to tickle. My adenoid, doy. Yeah, I look like the bull in a bag. That's because I'm a cranky old bag. Yes. The little next to the twinkle veins. Something like that you want to see. A giant shadow discovery. Now you know there's a bleeding twinkle veins.
It's 101, Cranky Old Mo, or maybe it'll be the Magnanimous Enthusiastic Mo. You never know which one. At 2 this afternoon, you'll have to stay tuned and find out, or not. Mad Dog at 4 from Hooters and Pembroke Pines. Then we got that Panther stuff. Any interest in those Panthers?
No.
Understand now, an interesting thing is they moved the weeknight games up to 7. Friday game's still at 7:30, but like during the week, like Wednesday's Ranger game, they moved it up to 7. Am I right, Josh? Yes?
You wouldn't know.
Well, what do you mean you wouldn't know? He was there.
He's not here to answer you.
He what?
He's not sitting there right now.
Well, where the hell did he go? Oh, don't tell me he had to make a run.
I'm sure he's putting down some toilet paper right now as we speak.
Oh, I'll be damned, on the seat. Put down some paper on that seat before you sit. Fat Boy's probably been in there. Only God only knows what kind of things are crawling around his body. Now, you see, we never discussed what came in for lunch today, or breakfast and lunch and brunch. Or was there no food in there?
Oh, yeah, there was food. We had our Howies.
Yeah.
I had a pork sandwich.
A pork sandwich?
Barbecue
I'm going to
pork?
have to get that PETA thing out again. What's wrong with you, man? Eating pig?
Love my pig, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to make some bratwurst for lunch just to piss off those PETA people. How do you like that? I love my pork. In fact, it's kosher for Pesach, Gary Sarner.
Brats,
You
bacon.
idiot. You quisling, Gary.
You fairy.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't get the cheese brats yet, by the way, for those who are interested. Sorry.
Got to do it, man.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It's the way to go.
So Howie's put Josh over the edge today, so George wasn't there to go make the quick run, but subbing in there was Josh Cordes, filling the breach that George has left behind, so to speak.
Which, by the way, recommended by George, the pork sandwich. So
yeah,
I tried it today.
And it was great, I bet.
It was very good.
George knows his pork. And I guarantee you that you put some heavy layers, that's probably why it took so long, several layers of newspaper and toilet paper over the seat before you sat down there.
No, I'm all right.
See, he didn't do it.
I can deal with
he hovers.
this place.
He didn't do it. No, he didn't hover. He didn't squat there like a girl, okay, Miguel, like you do. Oh, you are really a girly boy. You are a girly man. Make no mistake about it. When Arnold was talking about girly men, he had you in mind. Here's an interesting story. When it comes to multitasking, it's hard to beat the woman who can rob a bank and never interrupt her cell phone conversation. In an act of either incredible cool or something much more sinister, a young woman has robbed 4 Wachovia bank branch. Oh, and by the way, let me just say this. It's Veterans Day, okay? And like I said before, in South Florida, wouldn't you think that since this isn't a religious holiday, it's not like real, like solemn, etc., there could have been school, the banks could have been open, everybody could have been doing their business with all the problems that people have had trying to do business for the last couple of weeks thanks to Florida Plunder and Loot and everybody without power in Wilma, etc. Wouldn't you think? But no. Anyway, getting back to this story. In an act of either incredible cool or something much more sinister, a young woman has robbed 4 Wachovia bank branches in Northern Virginia in recent weeks, all while seemingly immersed in cell phone chats, police say. In the most recent holdup, on November 4th in Ashburn, and where the hell is Ashburn? Oh, Northern Virginia. Video footage shows the woman to be almost uninterested as a teller hands her a stack of cash, and she continues talking on her phone as she turns and walks out of the bank. Very casual. It's the casual cell phone bank robber. This is the first time I can recall where we've had a crime committed while the person was using a cell phone, said County Sheriff spokesman Craig Troxell, echoing comments by officials from other law enforcement agencies. The question would be whether anyone is on the other end of the line or not. Maybe she's just doing it for show. I know some people that do that. I'm positive of it. Oh, well, I'll get back to you around 7. I got a very important appointment. And there's nobody on the phone. They're just posers. Posers. Just like a lot of you idiots down there on South Beach. Bunch of posers. The cell phone bandit first struck in Vienna October 12th. A woman in her 20s with dark hair, about 5'2" to 5'6" tall, and weighing 120 to 130, walked in carrying a box and talking on a cell phone. We've all seen her picture. Is she like a light-complected dark lady or a dark-complected light lady? I'm not really sure. You've seen the picture, though, haven't you?
No.
You haven't seen that picture? She's on the phone. Because the security cameras caught it, and she's on the phone. It's got her face right on there. Really clever. She moved directly to the teller counter to display the shoe size the shoebox-sized box, which had a note taped on it demanding cash. Police wouldn't disclose the wording of the note. As in the other cases, the robber exchanged few or no words with the teller because she apparently was busy talking to somebody else. She scooped up the cash, started walking, and kept on talking. In the most recent robbery, however, there was a twist, Troxel said, a gun. During her brief visit to the branch at 40, whatever it is, in Ashburn, the woman carried a purse and simply opened it up, showing the gun to a teller around 5:30 in the afternoon. Then she handed over a note demanding cash with her cell phone sternly attached to her ear. The tellers haven't been able to hear much of the conversations, police said. They said the chat from the robber's end on November 4th was mainly a bunch of okays. She was just... Okay. She was well-spoken in English with a light Hispanic accent.
Oh, my God.
Boy. Now the worm is turned. How do you like that, Miguel? It appeared to witnesses that there was someone on the other end of the robber's line that day. A huge leap we're making is that she's talking to somebody who knows what's going on, possibly a lookout. That's a pretty good scam. So you guys out there that are getting ready to rob a bank, take your cell phone in with you and have them maybe just a walkie-talkie. Is that a good idea? You know, you could be in communication with your getaway guy. 358 votes. You know something? I think it's getting precariously close to that magic number, 374. And before you know it, we'll be like, what'd I say? 974. Aren't you impressed? I thought that Josh would be like doing cartwheels in the hallway. He'd be so excited. He's excited because he chased Adam off the sales department. What?
I cartwheeled on the way to the toilet.
Did you really? Well, that's a good way to start generating some action there. Johnny Depp defends Kate Moss. How do you like that?
Oh my God.
I like Johnny Depp a lot. Boy, do I like Johnny. Makes me think back of that morning he was on my show on Zeta, back before he was quite so famous. He was famous, but not like he is now. Johnny Depp in London says he was appalled by the vilifying of his ex-girlfriend Kate Moss after pictures of her allegedly snorting cocaine were published in Britain. They got some nerve, Johnny says. Yeah, snort this. Next thing you know, they'll be crucifying poor Noelle Bush. The first thing that went through my mind was I was concerned for her, hoping she was okay, and that she and her baby were okay, said Depp, 42, who dated the supermodel 4 years until 98. Then I was just being appalled and shocked at the kind of vicious attacks Depp in an interview Friday with a British morning TV show. She's super sharp, pretty smart, has a great heart. She's a good mum, and she just happens to be human, and the press won't allow that. That's unforgivable, said Johnny. Moss, 31, recently left a rehab clinic in the U.S., was reunited with her 3-year-old daughter, Lila Grace. Moss lost several modeling contracts after the photos were published, but her career appears to be back on track. She appears on the cover of this month's Vanity Fair magazine and recently shot a new campaign for designer Roberto Cavalli. And let's see, the other article I had about this story, this one leaves that part out about Johnny Depp ripping the U.S. and saying what a bunch of losers, and he's right. That's not in this particular story. That was the better one. Damn it. Maybe that's the one on our website. Yeah, see, he lives in France, or at least in Europe most of the year, and he just don't want no part of the USA. That's Johnny Depp for you. He's had it with what America has become. Oh, he's on patriotic. Yeah, right. He's smart is what he is, Johnny Depp. Smart as a whip. And a damn good actor, too. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can I speak to Neil?
Speaking.
Mr. Neil!
Yeah.
How you doing?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Listen,
sounds like
I have a buddy of mine that he lives in Jersey. He moved down. He moved over there. He wants to hear the Howard Mo David and Goldie, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Is that possible?
What the hell's the name of that? The good, the bad, and the ugly. What is that called?
That's it.
I'll work on it, pal. I will get it for you.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, see, and by the way, don't forget. Don't forget that. What is that called? What is that?
Got me.
Well, Boca Brian's going to have to call you and tell you because George was there. See, we don't really care if George is there or not, but once in a great while, like that thing about World Police. I mean, Team America.
He would have gotten that, yeah.
He would have known that right away. I guess probably because he was the one that sent me the disc.
I would have too, like I said, if he said puppets. That's all.
It's not puppets, it's marionettes.
I know now.
No strings attached, okay? No strings attached, kind of like that tampon that KJ was singing about. Toy, oi, oi, toy, toy, toy. What is that called? It's not called the good, the bad, and huh? Am I going to have to go through all the Mobits?
The More, the Doy, the Geldy, is that it?
Is it called, what is it?
The Mo, the Doy, the Geldy? I don't know, I'm looking at titles here.
Mo, Doy, Geldy? There's a Mofo, your money. Look at that. That is really bad. Let's see. Well, we'll play about 100 of them, and then we'll find the right one. There's Mo and Joe.
Is that it? Yeah, that's
it. Which one is that?
The More, the Doy, the Geldy.
Well, just keep playing it.
Doy, doy, doy. Doy, doy, doy.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
Friday, you bastard.
Follow the lines of cocaine. Follow the lines of cocaine. Follow, 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 follow by bus or by train. You'll find all the people who got hooked on blow. They burn through their friends and they spend all their dough. For 30 days you go away and then you begin life again. Kate Moss is out of rehab. She packed her stuff and there she goes. Oh! We hope, we hope, we hope, we hope she won't put that stuff up her nose. She sold up her scale and got rid of her straw. She screwed up her life even worse than Jude Law's. But everyone deserves another shot. I just hope that she won't start smoking pot. Kate Moss is out of rehab. She packed her stuff and there she goes. Kate Moss is out of rehab. She packed her stuff and there she goes. We hope, we hope, we hope, we hope she won't put that stuff up her nose. She sold up her scale and got rid of her straw. She screwed up her life even worse than Jude Law's. But everyone deserves another shot. I just hope that she won't start smoking pot. Kate Moss is out of rehab. She packed her stuff and there she goes.
160. Why are we supposed to care about that? That Kate Moss is putting the powder up her nose. Why should we care about that, boys and girls? We don't.
Supermodel.
Like I said, we don't. None of our business what she's doing. Now, if it's the governor, fat-ass governor's daughter, we care about that because he sets himself up as a goody two-shoes, as a role model for being so much more pious and better than the rest of us. As a good Catholic, and his brother with his born-again Christianity and Jesus this and faith-based bullcrap and faith-based lies and faith-based cocaine, etc. and so on. Then we care about it, because then you're talking the word is hypocrite, just like Rush, popping all them pills. If it's like Joe Blow down the street, we don't care how many oxys he's popping or how much doctor shopping he's doing, popping and shopping. But when it's somebody that's on the air talking about all these crazy drug people and how they all belong on death row, and then come to find out that he's like popping 50 million oxys every 5 minutes, then all of a sudden we kind of change our altitude about that. Colorado Soldier Fund's anti-war group, Sergeant Kelly Doherty, went to Iraq in 2003, doubting the war was just. She returned in 2004, certain it was wrong, and co-founded Iraq Veterans Against the War. People say you're a traitor. People say you're unpatriotic, said Doherty, 27, about her anti-war work. We're doing this because we feel strongly about America. I really appreciate America, but we're capable of doing some very bad things, she says, and she happens to be...
Absolutely correct.
Ma'am. Doherty was stationed near Nasiriyah in southern Iraq for 10 months with the Colorado National Guard's 220th Military Police Company. She saw action but never fired her weapon. Doherty said to thousands of innocent civilians who have been killed in the broken American promises about repairing water, electricity, and sewer systems convinced her the troops ought to be coming home. The faces of Iraqi civilians mirrored her growing doubts. At first, the Iraqis smiled and waved, but at the end of my 10 months there, they'd turn away or make rude gestures, Doherty said. Oh, like you're number one. How do you like that? Rude gestures. After she came home in February 2004 and left the Guard after 8 years with an honorable discharge, she embarked on a new mission. She put her life and income on hold to talk to college students, high school classes, and community groups across the country. The war in Iraq is not about protecting this country. The war in Iraq is aggression, she said, who doesn't receive a salary for work against the war. Most of us wanted to help the Iraqi people, but the only good we could do was give kids candy, she told 6 students who gathered on a warm fall afternoon to listen to her at Regis College in Denver. That's not what they need. They need clean water and security. They need electricity, just like the poor people of South Florida need it for days and days on end. They need electricity so they can live their lives and run their air conditioning and their big screen TV sets, like Hank's big Samsung TV. Glad he likes it. So you always take your life in your hands when you start recommending things. I'm not talking about like body wash. I mean, you can always throw it out and get a new one, for a couple of bucks. But when it's a big purchase, like a TV set or something like that,
yeah,
and you recommend it, and then somebody goes out and buys it, and then, oh, gee, that's a piece of crap. The Sony was so much value or whatever. It's not, though. Samsung is great.
You can still return it.
That game last night, the Penguin-Canadian game in HD, that was so... Anybody that... Well, we talked about this before. Anybody hasn't seen a sporting event in high definition, a live event, it's breathtaking. Or like a live rock concert. It's just amazing. You could reach in there and practically, like, tickle their fancy. Like right on Passions, you could tickle fancy. We got 1,001 votes altogether. We're okay now. All right. Josh had a real good, healthy BM, and we got 1,000 votes. What's not to like?
It's a good
Miguel's all straightened out. He's going to be using the squeegee all weekend. And I'm going to be shaving with my motorized razor. Boy, you are just a piece of work. Here's a guy that's shaving with a vibrator. Never heard of such a thing.
But I'm saying, like, you said you use a razor.
Let me say it again. In fact, hang on a second. Play a tune.
Was he going to get his razor?
I don't know. You going to play the Open?
Yeah, that's all I got. That's what I got queued up, man. Have you tried the Mach 3?
No.
I'm not interested. Oh, you're asking him.
Yeah, I was asking him there.
The new soft Ultra Grip Pivot Gillette Custom Plus. These disposable razors are so fantastic.
Disposable razors.
Right.
Come on, it takes up too much space.
What's going on?
Takes up too much space? What does that mean?
Why would you use a disposable razor?
No, but what does that mean? It takes up too much space.
What do you have, a bag
my
of like
little
30?
finger, which I'm pointing at you right now, is about the size of one of these razors. How can it take up too much space?
How many razors do you have in this bag?
10.
Too much
You
space.
don't put you put the bag in the under the thing there in the drawer in the cupboard somewhere. You don't have the whole bag out there. You take one out when you need it every couple of days, every 4 or 5 days.
Every 4 or 5 days.
Right. That's how long these last.
Wow.
Well, how long would you use one? How many days?
2 or 3.
About 30, man.
Yeah. How many days would you use a disposable razor?
I don't use disposable razors.
But so then what the hell do you know what you're talking about? Oh man, you're brutal. Your poor wife, man. I guarantee you, she probably goes to
but like a disposable razor.
Your
they
wife's
even
going
have
on
a
that
glide
suicide website. She's going to start. Or maybe I got a better idea for her. She can give you the arsenic. Extra lubricating. What does it say? Extra lubricating power with natural oils. New Gillette Custom Plus Pivot. These aren't the old. These are new ones. They're gray. They're gray and dark blue.
All right, now you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, you got me into the body wash thing. Okay, you use a razor. Just listen. Go get the Mach 3 that vibrates. I'm telling you, you'll never use another razor.
Vibrating razor. I'm not into vibrators. Okay. What do you do with it? You stick it on your.
You push the button, but while you shave, the buzzer it actually vibrates. It's great. I'm telling you.
See, I'm not into a tinker toy for shaving. I'm into like a real razor for like a real man.
It is a real razor. What do you mean? You're using disposables. You're talking about using real razors. Do those things even have glide sticks?
Glide sticks?
It's a disposable razor.
It does say on here, stick it.
No,
well, what do you mean glide sticks? What the hell is a glide stick?
The whole
well, what is that?
Like, above your razor, the little stick there, the little soft part?
Yeah.
That's a glide
stick. The little soft part? Yes, it does.
Okay, well, there you go.
That's our glide stick.
Top of the line disposable.
So, in other words, you're telling me that disposable razors are all no good? Is that what you're saying? I'm here to tell you, I've been shaving with these since they first came out with this is the newest and improved one. And these are, you don't even know that you're shaving. It just slides over your puss, and the hair just disappears, and it's like there's no pain, no gain, no strain, no cuts, no nicks, no bleeding, no like toilet paper on the face that you could be putting on the seat.
All right, let me tell you in terms you'll understand, okay? The Mach 3...
In terms I'll understand.
The Mach 3 is the flavor wave
oven.
Here's
a shaving expert, Josh Cordes. He's learned it from all those super jocks at the ballpark.
He's been shaving for 2 years now.
Who taught you this, Dave Van Boring?
I'm just telling you. You use a razor. It's the best razor.
What is it? I'll tell you
what.
The
Mach 3 that vibrates.
Just to show how open-minded I am, I'll go out and buy one this afternoon.
And you'll never use anything else.
Okay. Well, then how come you're using the Braun electric razor?
Because
if these are so
I don't like straight razors, but I'm telling you, I have it.
How about razors? How about those? Doesn't like straight razors.
I use electric.
Trying to give us a message here or something? First he goes down to the tea room and he's like doing cartwheels in the toilet there, and now he's coming back down to see like razors. If this is as good as you're saying it is, I can't imagine why you'd want to spend all the money for it. And you're talking about disposable. How long does that last? How can a blade, how long can that last?
It'll last a while.
How long is a while? A week? A month? 4 weeks from Sukkot? How long can that last?
Probably 2
why
weeks.
My question is, why get a disposable when you can just get the actual replacement?
Yeah, then you just have to buy blades,
Yeah. Isn't
You
it
know what a
cheaper
pain
that way?
in the ass that is? Oh, so you're talking about one of these deals where it's like the handle is permanent and you have to put those damn... That's a pain in the ass.
No, you just stick it right in.
Get out of here, man. When you got the kind of bucks that I got, you don't like how you just use the razor for like one shave and you toss it in the can, man. That's it. That's right. Even if it's an electric razor, when you got the big bucks, you use it once and you throw it away and get a new one.
Don't razor itself.
That's right. Your car gets dirty, you take it and you trade it in.
Get rid of this bet. Let's get a new one. It's dirty.
That's right. TV stick, it's like a little spot on it. You don't like wash it off. You don't have the maid clean off the TV screen. You trade, you get a new one. Go out there and spend $3-4 get you a nice new one. Helps the economy, eh?
That it does.
Okay, so let me write it down again. What is it? Mach 3.
The Mach
Macho
3,
3.
and it's the vibrating one. You can't.
Macho vibrating for macho men. Yeah, it sounds real macho to me. A razor that vibrates. You know what that's like? That's like these silly people that use these toothbrushes. Everything's got to vibrate now.
I don't know about all that, but
I bet you Sally Fitz is happy because no matter what you buy, it vibrates. Even when you buy a cucumber now, it vibrates. God. Well, what's going on in this world anyway? No wonder people are pointing at America, a bunch of lunatics. Bush has put everybody off the deep edge. Vibrating toothbrushes. You know what those do? What they do is they loosen up your fillings so that the fillings fall out. What person in his right mind? Yeah, that's for people too lazy to floss and use the. You know what are really good is the dentist sticks. Since we're promoting all these stupid products now, do you ever use these? No.
Dentist
Is that what
sticks?
they're called? These little plastic dentist sticks that are like curved on the end, and you can reach right between your teeth and your gum. It's great.
Those are good.
They are good.
Yep.
See, there's something that Miguel got onto is the dentist stick.
Yes.
He's sticking it.
Yep.
Well, here's a girl who obviously had that problem too. An appeals court ruled that a 17-year-old girl in Lakeland can get an abortion without telling her parents, which overturns a decision by a poke circuit judge. Somebody was sticking it, and the judge is poking it. A majority of the three-judge panel said yesterday the girl has the maturity to decide whether to have an abortion or to decide if telling her parents would serve her best interests. Circuit Judge Ellen this is like Alien again. Leave her alone and let her do her own thing. 17, my God. Circuit Judge Ellen Masters denied the girl's original request for a waiver last month, ruling she didn't meet the criteria for a waiver. A new law, which became effective June 30,
About 30, man.
requires a physician to notify the parents or guardians of girls younger than 18 before performing an abortion. If the girl doesn't want her parents or guardians notified, she can request a waiver from a judge. The girl will be 18 within a month anyway, lives with her parents, and comes from a Catholic family. Oh, not a Catholic 17-year-old girl that got knocked up. She testified that she became pregnant by her steady boyfriend. Oh, that's sweet. She said she wants to have an abortion because she's not prepared financially or otherwise to support a child. Although she said she has a good relationship with her parents, the girl said they would adamantly oppose her decision to have an abortion, might kick her out because they're Catholic. There's that Catholic thing again.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM. On the heels of last week's huge victory over Virginia Tech.
The snap. Foul right looking. Has a man, throws, end zone! It is! Score for a touchdown! Touchdown Miami!
Your Miami Hurricanes head to Winston-Salem tomorrow afternoon to take on Wake Forest as ACC action continues. Hurricanes Game Day starts our coverage at noon. Kickoff is set for 3:30. Presented by Bell Stop. Right here. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Hurricane fucking blow!
Absolutely.
In that book I made it clear, the magic box towards other men is where I steer. The magic box at Roger Daltrey I sometimes stare. The magic box I like his walk and I like his hair. The magic box I watch his jeans when he struts. The magic box I just love his magic butt.
Rectum.
The magic butt. When we're on tour, I just hope the magic butt. He'll lose his grip and drop the soap. The magic butt. I see. I want it. I see.
You can't have it.
Magic butt. Magic butt. Magic butt.
See, there you go again, dropping the soap. If we would have had the body wash, we wouldn't have to worry about being attacked. It's 1:31 at 560 WQAM. Oh, just in, Al-Arabiya, Bath statement says that somebody is dead.
Find that. Let's put an asterisk beside it.
Saddam's former deputy is dead. Boy, there's a lot of dead Iraqis over there, I'll tell you. I thought we were there to liberate them, not by emancipation by decapitation. Is that it? They're all dead. Merrimack, New Hampshire, police say a 19-year-old convenience store clerk fell asleep on 2 jobs this week, minding the store and selling drugs. Samar Gandhi of Nashua, New Hampshire, was charged with possession of marijuana with intent to distribute after 2 Merrimack police officers found him sleeping in the store's office with a quarter-pound of marijuana. If that would have been in South Florida in Margate, they'd have just blown his crap away, right? Especially if there was a scale around. Is that why they call it the scales of justice?
That's it.
It happened late Monday at a 7-Eleven store after a customer called police to report there was nobody in the store. Police searched the building and say they found Gandhi sleeping in the back office with a big bag of pot, a scale, and a smaller bag of pot. They say he was packaging the marijuana for resale. Well, I bet he had a scale, see? Kill him. That's all. And what about the Miami police chief, Timoney? What about his son and his 400 pounds of pot? How's he doing? I bet you George is frantically trying to get his number.
Yeah.
And that's probably where George is today. He took off today. His story about going to the beach, my ass, okay?
He's on his way to Philly.
Yeah. He's probably hooking up with the chief. China. The Chinese are serious about building. I got 3 bra stories. The Chinese are serious about building a brighter bra. There's now a degree in bra studies at Hong Kong's Polytechnic University. And China's biggest lingerie manufacturer, Top Form, has a bra lab at its factory. The company makes more than 60 million bras a year for well-known labels like Victoria's Secret, Playtex, and Maidenform. Made in China. The Wall Street. Hopefully the boobies aren't made in China, because boy, it'd be like Raisinets. Not that all Chinese people are like unendowed in various areas, but most. The Wall Street Journal reports Top Form has been experimenting with various types of padding to give the bust a boost. They've tried air, but like tires, it's prone to flats. Oil-filled pads were too expensive and heavy. Now the company is trying a filling made from a thin type of fiber fill, the stuffing used in ski parkas. Oh, that should do it. Fort Myers. A Florida woman's been arrested for padding her bra with a stolen parrot. Oh. Jill Nispel, 35, is facing felony charges after hiding a rare green-winged parrot in her bra and stealing it from her employer, Baby Exotic Birds, police said. She got a parrot in her boobies. Nispel allegedly stole the bird so she could trade it for a vintage 64 Volkswagen Carmen Ghia automobile. She couldn't resist telling the car's owner how she got the animal, according to the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Turns out the car's owner is friends with the man who owns the $2,000 bird.
Nice job.
DNA tests confirmed the bird's identity, and Nispel was charged Saturday with grand theft. The circumstances of the case are the most bizarre I've ever encountered, said veteran wildlife investigator Larry Barshinger. He was investigating for wildlife. And Tokyo. We got a trifecta of booby stories, of bra stories. Furry heated bras may soon appear in some Japanese wardrobes as the country prepares for Warm Biz, a nationwide government campaign urging workers to bundle up and save energy on heating this winter. The Warm Biz bra, unveiled this week by Tokyo-based underwear maker Triumph International, is lined with material that the company says helps save warmth. The bra also has removable pads that can be heated in the microwave or hot water, as well as long furry straps that wrap around the neck like a scarf and matching shorts. Warm Biz lets you add a little fun and chic to office wear and prevents global warming, Triumph says. In an attempt to cut energy use, Japan's government is recommending setting thermostats this winter at 19 degrees Celsius, that's 66 degrees Fahrenheit for government buildings, and 20 degrees Celsius, that's 68 Fahrenheit for private companies. 66, a little on the chilly side, eh? The government said this year's June to August Cool Biz campaign, which had bureaucrats and politicians sporting open-collar, short-sleeve shirts to cut down on air conditioning, saved 210 million kilowatt-hours, enough to power 720,000 households for a month. And you know who'd like that sleeves-up campaign? Brownie Brown. Roll up those sleeves, Brownie, and make it look like you're doing something. Attaboy. And watch out for that floating debris there. Here's something that you guys are probably going to be bidding on right now before the show's over.
Okay.
Attention sports fans, Joe DiMaggio's first Major League uniform is going up for sale.
Oh!
Joe D. The baseball legend's 1936 New York Yankees home uniform will hit the auction block at Sotheby's in New York on December 10. Both the jersey and pants of the pinstripe number 9 uniform will be auctioned. And keep in mind, he was married to Marilyn Monroe. And now the rumors are coming out that this phony accidental death of hers that everybody now says is murder, that they were going to get hitched again. Or maybe it was a suicide. They were supposed to get married again.
Okay.
But anyway, his pants, keep in mind that he was married to Marilyn Monroe, see, so you can get a vicarious thrill by wearing Joe D's pants, even though they were from long before. As a 21-year-old rookie, Jolton Joe, as he was known, helped lead the Yankees to the first of 4 consecutive World titles in the World Series titles. Only year that he wore number 9 in the years to follow, he wore number 5, as we know, except for Mike Berardino, who says, up yours. We hate you, Mike. You're an idiot. You're negative. You're sour. You're a sour puss. And Hank ought to you know what you ought to do when baseball season starts? You ought to put him on for like about 2 minutes and then cut him off right in the middle of the interview, right in the beginning. Hey, Mike, up yours, and then hang up. Wouldn't that be great?
Not going to happen.
No. The Yankee Clippers weathered uniform is expected to sell for now. I guess you guys are out of the running now. Expected to sell for an estimated $600,000. According to Lee Dunbar, director of Sotheby's Collectibles Department, Dunbar said DiMaggio memorabilia is the rarest of baseball artifacts. We know of no other rookie uniform that's as historic. I wonder if we got some of the clothing that Alien left behind. Why don't you guys hightail it over this afternoon to Little Havana And find the old Maris Greasy-ass house there and the Gonzalez house. And maybe left some of his underwears around or some old pantaloonies, whatever. Can you imagine?
No.
Oh, my God, that old Blacktooth crowd in Domino Park, they'd be like hand over fist to get their hands on that.
Well, auction that off.
Huh?
Auction that off.
Auction that baby off. For nearly 70 years, DiMaggio's uniforms have been collecting cobwebs in the closet of Charles Smoke Manson, now 89, who was the Yankees Farm League pitcher in the 1930s.
About 30, man.
Yankee Farm Leaguers inherited the uniforms of the big league players from the previous year, and Mason was lucky enough to get Joe D's. Next month's auctions will also include 349 other rare and sought-after sports memorabilia. You know what I'm thinking before I read about the rest of the auction? You know that big piece that we got there that Roy Foster liked so much, that big black dildo?
Yeah.
Maybe you ought to tell the Beasleys that we got there that we can put it back on our action auction there on the QAM website. Now open up a whole new revenue stream, man. Next month's auction. No, don't you think we got all that memorabilia laying around in the studio and that picture of the sales department with everybody, including Adam, now X'd out? We can start auctioning that stuff off on the QAM website to open up that new auction stream.
Or on our website, and like QAM, we can keep the profits.
Next month's auctions will also include 300, by the way, how many votes we got? We're way over 1,000. Write this on your diary. 434 and 616 is what? It sounds like 1050 to me, without even like having to add and subtract and multiply. 1050. Nice. As in 1050 WMGM, New York, WHN. Next month's auctions will also include 349 often rare and other rare and sought-after sports memorabilia pieces, including the original plaster model sculpture of the Heisman Trophy, expected to go for $200 to $300,000. And Shoeless Joe Jackson's favorite Black Betsy bat, expected to fetch close to $300,000. Maybe even some of OJ's illegal satellite dish receivers are in there, too, for auction. Dunbar said Sotheby's expects the auction sale to total about $5 million for a bunch of old crap. Isn't that amazing?
People will buy them.
All you people out there listening, if you got a bunch of old crap laying around, hang on to it, because someday it'll be valuable if you're lucky. Like me when I had all those baseball cards when I was a kid. If I'd just hung on to them. I had zillions of baseball cards in, like, shoe boxes.
What'd you do?
And, well, I didn't do nothing. Mom threw them out. Oh, bitch.
Yeah.
Don't be talking about... Well, she's dead. She didn't give a crap anymore.
This is
nice going, Mom. By the way, thanks for having my dog put to sleep, too, honey.
560 QAM.
Absolutely. Mohammed David, whatever. What is all this hoopla over this Rosa Parks? Ain't nobody ever heard of Jackie Robinson, huh? Sure, Rosa Parks rode on the bus. But Jackie Robinson was an intelligent man and played with balls in a major league of a children's game. I mean, come on. Who's done more for the black community? Rosa Parks or Jackie Robinson, huh? Jackie Robinson was my hero. Why, I can remember when I was a much younger man. And Jackie, he was working at the chock full of nuts. I walked up to him, shook his hand, and said, "You are my hero. Now get me a cup of coffee, and make it black." You think Rosa made coffee that heavenly? Mohammed David Show, what do you want?
Yes, Mo. I think what you're doing here...
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Whoa. Are you a black man?
Yes.
Well, you can't tell over the phone. Who did more for the black community? Rosa Parks or Jackie Robinson?
Mo, it's two separate things. What you're doing is blurring the lines between social activism and...
Not that I'm prejudiced. Oh, he must have been disconnected through no fault of my own. Only any time, pal. You're one of the high tones. Mohammed David.
You mean tell me Jackie Robinson did both for the black
No, that's not what I said. Now, don't get me wrong here. It goes something like this. Who did more for the black community? Rosa Parks or Nipsey Russell?
Nipsey Russell?
You don't understand what I'm saying.
What the hell you be talking about, man?
All right, back it up. The phones ain't working right. Phones ain't working right. The phones ain't working right. Now, who did more? Rosa Parks or Slappy White?
Slappy White?
Oh, yeah. Who did more? Rosa Parks or Rochester? Who did more? Come on. Who did more? Larry Parks or Bert Parks? No, that's not me. Let me have it. Let me turn this thing off. Hey, turn this thing off. Shoo. Well, if it ain't my old pal Troy, my favorite.
14 till 2. Now, let's see. What is that going to go out and buy? I got to buy the Mach 3 vibrating dildo razor.
Mach 3.
The Mach 3. And then I got to buy the Dial body wash, lilac, pink, purple, etc.
You're good to go.
Okay. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the drugstore today. Better get some good drugs while I'm at it. Here's a guy that needed some drugs, I guess. Central Florida man arrested for confining child in a freezer. Largo. A 23-year-old man was charged with aggravated child abuse after police said he disciplined his girlfriend's 5-year-old son by stuffing him into a chest freezer. Nicholas Jermaine Black was arrested yesterday after officers investigated an anonymous tip to the state's child abuse hotline, Largo police said. The boy's mother, Melissa Bentley Hanson, 32, was charged with child neglect because she was present during some of the incidents. Police said Black put the boy inside the running freezer and sat on top to keep him inside at least 5 times since mid-October. Caging a child is illegal in Florida. The kid could be heard inside the freezer, obviously kicking and pushing to get out, said Largo Police Sergeant Stephen Slaughter. The child must have been scared to death. The boy apparently was kept inside for no more than 2 minutes. He and his 11-year-old sister showed no signs of physical abuse and appeared to be otherwise well-fed and clothed. Both are staying with relatives. Detective Mike Stevenson interviewed the boy and asked him what officers should do with Black. Take him to jail, the boy replied. What a smart kid. Black, a boat repairman, was still in jail today with no bond. He told police he never stuffed the boy into the freezer, but only held his head inside first with a lid up until the boy was cold. Hanson's being held under $20,000 bond. Details about their legal representation unavailable. Classy couple, huh? In Largo, Florida. Land of mayhem and insanity, and a lot of really stupid people. Bad news for you TV fans. Guess what shows are going bye-bye? But I'm sure you guys never watched the... Well, maybe you did. You ever watch Arrested Development?
Nope.
Well, the ratings were so bad they couldn't get arrested. And how about Seventh Heaven?
No.
What are you laughing about?
Seventh Heaven?
Well, Jessica Biel was in it.
There were some hot people on that show.
Yeah,
oh, she's not one of them. She's all right. There were some really hot people on that show, Seventh Heaven. Going. The Candons will bid farewell to the viewers in May when the WB Network's top-rated family drama Seventh Heaven ends its run after 10 seasons, and what sources said was largely a cost-cutting move. The Bluth clan of Fox ratings challenged Arrested Development, ratings challenged. Kind of like Joel across the street there. That would be a nice term for him. He's ratings challenged. Yes.
It's more PC.
Arrested Development's also headed for the exit after Fox cut the third season order on the Emmy-winning comedy to 13 episodes. Also getting the exit, Fox is Arrested's companion on Monday, the freshman comedy Kitchen Confidential, whose order will not be extended beyond the initial 13 episodes. Seventh Heaven, whose debut August 26, 1996, marked the first ever Monday broadcast of the then fledgling WB network, will bow out as the longest-running family drama on television. After 10 seasons, the show is still a top draw for WB, averaging 5.1 million viewers this season to date because there's hot people on it. Creatively, the show also will go out in style, creator Brenda Hampton said. I think this is the best season we've ever had, and we're planning a very exciting and heartwarming conclusion to the series. I think what they do is they blow the whole house up with everybody in it. There's talk about a potential Seventh Heaven spin-off, but Hampton admits that would be hard to do. Seventh Heaven is a family show, she said. I think the success of the show is that the family's intact with Mom. The dad in the show, Daddy's a preacher, and everybody's like goody two-shoes, and there's a lot of hot people on there. If they didn't have hot people on there, would be 10 people watching, okay? Boring without the hot people. Trust me when I tell you. Think we want to take one or two more good calls before we end today, before we wrap up a really scintillating week?
And see if you can find them.
WQAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're playing request, I heard?
Oh, that sounds just like Reverend Jones to me. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man? Look, I was one of the...
I'll tell you one thing that's going on. Hey, Reverend Jones.
You're gay.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No problem. I was one of the last callers to the Mo show the other day that made him go off. And my dad said you guys had made a 5-minute bit about it, and I missed it. I never got to hear it.
No, we didn't make a 5-minute bit about it. We just played the clip. Although we do have a bit about it.
Could you possibly play that? And what a man to mess with, man. He's so easy. I'll tell you what.
Well, he got up on the wrong side of the bed this year, so good
Oh
luck.
Man, it was like he was just going off, man.
Here you go.
Mohammed and David here on WAM. I am here, and you are... Damn it, I can't say it anymore. They took that from me. Thanks in no small part to that midday show guy.
Who, Boca?
Yeah, that's the guy. Whoever the hell that is.
You met him.
I did?
Yes, out in the hallway.
I don't know whatever. Let's take some calls, then, shall we? Prestigious Bud Collier City. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Mom.
Yeah, what do you know? What do you say?
When are people gonna realize this? This is a sports show and nothing else.
Absolutely.
Nothing exists outside the gay world of sports.
Yeah, and by the way, they paid me to ogle and admire men. This here is a show for men, about men, like smelly bears and chaps.
You stole the pizza?
Huh?
You stole the pizza?
I did not take no pizza.
You stole the pizza?
Don't be ridiculous.
You stole the pizza?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stole the pizza?
I didn't steal no pizza.
Stole the pizza?
No, I did not steal no pizza.
Stole the pizza?
Now, see here. I ain't no pie burglar.
Stole the pizza?
I did not steal
Stole the pizza?
I only had one slice. Well, okay. So it was a whole pie. Who cares? Those bums had no power. I was hungry. I sacrificed a lot, too, you know. There was no Dr. Brown. Just don't taste the same without the Dr. Browns. Screw this. As Ed Murrow once said, good night and kiss my ass.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 AM.
You bastard. All right. Oh, I'd like to know who won the election. Said I'd like to know who won the election. Count the vote, baby, count the vote over, count the vote, baby, count the vote over, count the vote. Ever since this presidential race began, I've often wondered who was going to win. Some Palm Beach people went to do their voting chore. So count up all the ballots and find out who's gotten more. Those old folks seem to have one thing in common. Looks like lots of them just gave their votes to Patrick Buchanan.
Oi!
So I'd like to know who won the election. Yes, I'd like to know who won the election. Count the vote, baby, count the vote over, count the vote, baby, count the vote over, count the vote. The final tabulation started coming in. Then I saw a news flash on Channel 10. Some angry people all together in a bunch. They said they were confused and didn't know which hole to punch.
Cracked 'em.
Those old folks seem to have one thing in common. Looks like lots of them just gave their votes to Patrick Buchanan. You fairy. So I'd like to know who won the election. Said I'd like to know who won the election. Oh, I'd like to know who won the election. Yes, I'd like to know who won the election. Count the vote, baby, count the vote over, count the vote, baby, count the vote over, count the vote. How many for Bush? Count the vote. How many for Gore? Count the vote. How many for Bush? Count the vote. Are there any more? Count the vote. They messed up the ballot. Count the vote. They messed up the ballot.
Well, it looks like at least it's in the lead right now. Well, it's a pretty close race with Hurricane Andrew, but one thing, they both blew big time, I'll tell you that. The 2000 Chad, the hanging Chad election, the fixed one, the first fixed one, the one that Catherine Harris and your fat-ass governor helped. Oh, don't worry, the fix is in. You won. Don't worry about it. And, of course, those old Jews in Palm Beach County, some of them probably are dead by now because God punished them for voting for Pat Buchanan because they're too stupid to know how to vote to know where to punch it. Just keep that in mind, okay? The whole course of human history has been turned around by a bunch of senile idiots up at Cemetery Village in West Palm who voted for Pat Buchanan, thinking they were voting for Al Gore. Although it wouldn't have made any difference because they would have still come up with the extra votes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plus, they had the Supremes on their side. If you got the Supremes on your side, you're okay. Now, let's see. The first poll we did today, which applies to you, probably the most important poll we've ever done on the show, the body wash poll.
I would say so.
616 votes. Male, I shower with soap, 340. Male, I shower with body wash with squeegee, 113. Dump the soap, okay? Don't drop it. Just toss it out. Male, I shower with body wash, but no squeegee, 70. That's Miguel. No squeegee yet. He used it once, and he washed all the masculinity, every scale of masculinity off of his body.
Well, you said a squeegee was a washcloth, too, no?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then, count me in.
Oh, you're using a washcloth?
Yeah, I've never.
Oh, well, that's okay. We're not saying it's got to be like some pink lily-livered pansy kind of a thing that looks like lilacs. No.
No, I'm against
just not with your hand.
For a washcloth. No, I don't use my hand.
Just don't be using your hand. Anyway, I don't ever bathe, 49, and we can smell it. Female, I shower with body wash, 24, and female, I shower with soap, 20. So out of 616 votes we had on that poll before we changed the poll deal, 44 women. It's like, what is that, 8, well, whatever it is, not even close to 10%. About 8%. Weak, really weak. So these, ladies, we appreciate the women that we do have, all 40 of them. Don't exaggerate.
About 30,
all
man.
30 of them, but we don't have no women. It's QAM, what do you expect? The most traumatic time in South Florida was, that's our second poll, that's in progress right now, 468. We did way over 1,000 votes today, and boy, is Josh proud of that.
I am.
And you'll be really proud when I get my Mach 3 razor, my vibrating dildo razor. 2000 Hanging Chad election 121, Hurricane Andrew 109, Mariel Boat Lift 85, first wave of Cuban immigration 53, Hurricane Wilma 53, look at that. See the connection there? McDuffie riots 26, and the Alien Saga, Poor Little Alienato Solamente 21, only at 21.
Bye, bye, bye!